Hello. We're live.
Oh, we're live right now?
Yes, we're live. Brian, what are you doing over there?
Nothing. Fixing some shit on my phone. I woke up today and my Safari app is just missing from my phone, and that's not an app you can download from the App Store. So it's like, how the fuck do I...
You say you woke up and this happened, but
Yeah.
do you really remember last night?
Yeah. Except I didn't eat last night.
Yeah. I doubt you remember the last few hours.
I did. I have this problem lately where
Wait, how fucked up was he?
No.
He was getting liquored up when I saw him. You were getting liquored
No, I
up at
didn't.
like 8, weren't you?
No, I didn't start drinking until after I got off stage and
Oh.
stuff. But I did a thing where I woke up and I tell people like, oh yeah, I'll do your podcast, but I don't write it down. And then like I was in bed and somebody's like, hey, I'll see you at the Laugh Factory in 40 minutes. And I'm like, whoa, you got to remind me or something.
That, by the way, that exact same thing happened when you did my podcast.
Oh yeah?
I remember you were
you're just
like,
irresponsible.
yeah, Brian, let's not write it off to one night.
Why don't you use the calendar feature in your phone?
I do, but I only do it for shows, it seems like. But like little things like podcasts and stuff, I never really always...
That's not a little thing. That's a show.
Brian, that's how you
like,
make your living.
Well, I always think that people would like remind me, you know, like not 40 minutes before, but like, hey, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, oh yeah, that, okay, cool, yeah.
Okay.
But then after that, I had another one that I completely forgot about. So, and then I had to go to the comedy show last night. So,
I think Bert is making an excellent point. You shouldn't write it off to other people. And maybe,
it's totally
just
me.
maybe
Yeah,
you should keep a calendar.
oh, it's totally me.
Like,
Brian-
I don't think of podcasts as a little thing at all. Like, if I'm going to do somebody's podcast, that's a big deal.
No, but when you're like at a comedy club, stoned, and somebody goes, hey, you should do my podcast next Monday.
Oh, yeah, I've done
You know?
that. Yeah. That's a different animal.
Yeah.
You got to ask people in like an email or a text. Like asking someone in person, unless you're both sober.
Yeah.
You know?
And another problem I have is when people give me their numbers, I don't save it in my phone. And then so when they text me like a month later, I'm like, oh, fuck, who is this guy that's texting me?
Yeah.
I do
that
this
can
to you. I don't know
happen.
if you know. I do this to everyone. Everyone, I always write Bert at the end of my text because I'm like, I don't know if they got a new phone. Because I just want them to know, hey, this is Bert.
I always wondered why you did that.
Because I don't. Because I'm like,
Bert out.
You know, it's like
I do
so
that all the
cordial.
time to you. I do.
Thoughtfully yours, Bert. Yeah, it's a little odd. But there's, sometimes people do weird things. Like, do you ever get an email from someone and they have like a tagline in their email?
Sent from my silly iPhone. Excuse the voice dialing things.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We really need to do this. Hashtag. Like, if you have your own hashtag. Like the guy, Dominic Monaghan, really nice guy.
Yeah,
Like
he's on
that
Travel
guy a
Channel.
lot. Like him a lot. But every Instagram post he makes, he puts hashtag be curious.
Oh.
Hey, how about if I don't want to be curious? Is that cool? Can I just fucking veg out over here?
No offense, Dom, but the curiosity is what got me to your Instagram page.
Yeah. Hey, Dom, sometimes I like to put my feet up and have a beer and not think about shit. I'm not always interested in being curious. Be sad. Hashtag be sad. He's got some weird Travel Channel show about like he's traveling all over the world and seeing all these weird animals and
He's got a
insects and
genuine
shit.
passion for it. Wild Things
Yep.
with Dom. It's on Travel Channel.
Yeah, he loves insects, man. We had some deep conversations about ants.
Really?
Yeah, dude's seriously into ants. Well, I am too, in a way. Not like him. I don't know as much, but I've watched quite a few documentaries on it, and it's like when I watch them, I'm like, this is amazing. They just know how to go places. They're all like in the same row, and we're trying to figure out how they do it. It's by pheromones and shit. And then you see these super complex civilizations that they build underground, especially those leafcutter ants. Have you seen that shit? Dude, leafcutter ants are so sophisticated that they've engineered some sort of like ventilation system so they could bring leaves down into their crazy house and they'll ferment. These leaves will ferment in these like bowls that they've dug into the ground, and there's a pipe above it that's like an air pipe that they've tunneled up through the surface just to allow the gases to escape. No explanation whatsoever how they all know how to do this. No explanation how they ever figured it out. I mean, it's super complicated.
They've been programmed that way.
Yeah, I mean, something's going on, man. Have you ever seen when they pour cement into these things?
No. Oh, yes, I have. I have seen this.
Dude.
Wait, can you pull that up? I want to.
Yeah.
They pour cement in, and then they pull it out, and it looks like an art project.
Yeah, well, it's this giant labyrinth of tunnels and there it is. Yeah, look at that. God damn.
Wow,
Like-
that's so cool.
I mean, how are they all communicating together to figure this out? That's not one, is it? What is that? That's
like-
a wasp nest or something. What is that? Whoa. An ant queen. Go to the leafcutter ant. There's a video of it, I think. You find it, and they showed how they did it, how they poured the water in, or the concrete in, rather, which is kind of rude. Think about it. How many ants? That's an ant genocide. We're just saying, oh, amazing. # be curious. It's fucking.
Yeah, sadly, Dom's dialed into
Yeah.
us because we're talking about ants.
See what they do in
Oh,
here?
yeah.
They're pouring it into this hole. I mean, this is like metal. That looks like they're pouring molten metal. Is that metal?
Yeah, it says it's aluminum, I'm pretty sure.
How rude.
I know, that's
Look at
killing
all
all the
these
ants.
These ants are like, what the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? My family's in there. My fucking kids. Dude, what the fuck? Look at the ants just like freaking out around the edge. So they pour this molten aluminum in and fill the whole thing. And then this serial killer asshole with a spatula, he's got a little spatula, is
Ant
digging
lives
this
matter.
out. I actually, is that a gal or a dude? It's hard to tell. Might be a man bun. But whoever it is gentleman or woman is going to go in there and dig the whole thing out now. And it's a piece of art. Wow, that's actually a pretty dope piece of art. Finished casting, 21 inches wide, 14.5 inches high, and it weighs 3 pounds. Wow. Ant caster.
casters.
Harvester ant casting brought to you by Ant. So it's antcaster.com. So it's a company that murders ants for you.
That's crazy.
Nobody gives a fuck if you kill ants. It is one of
No.
the weirdest things, dude. You could kill an ant on your pants and brush it to the ground in any respectable office, and nobody freaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No one says a word. You kill a bee these days, people get pissed.
they get pissed, and they should.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have very many bees. Running out of bees, and we want to keep our cell phones, and we want to keep pesticide. So,
Wait, how do bees and cell phones and pesticides connect?
well, I'm not a bee expert. I should just say that off the bat. But what I've read is that they're pretty sure that bees are affected by cell phone signals in some sort of a negative way, and it interferes with their ability to communicate with each other.
Shut up.
Or there's another possible thought is that they might be hearing the sound of the cell phone signal all the time, and it's just driving them nuts. It's just interfering.
Or
It's
the
intruding in their life.
cell phone like the frequencies are making bees autistic, so they can't talk to each other. That's why
don't think-
autism is up also.
Big autism epidemic in the bees. When we were on Fear Factor, we had this bee stunt. We were up in
I thought you were going to say you did it with autistic people.
yeah, we took these autistic fuckers and lied to them. No, they had this stunt where they were covering people in bees, and so we were on this ranch, and they had these people, and they would stand there like leaning up against a pole, and this guy would come over with bees and just coat them with bees, like scoop it on them, and they had to stand with the bees on them for a certain amount of time. I don't remember how. Maybe they had to like unlock locks or something stupid. But while this was going on, this local colony of bees showed up. So it was like a bee gang meeting. Like they had to have a meeting, and we had to leave. Like the guy who's the bee guy goes, okay, here's the situation. There is a local colony that just came to investigate why my colony's here. We have to let them work this out. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And so we had to all leave the set. So we all left the set, and we went over like by these trailers that they had set up, and we kind of watched these bees just fly around each other. And they had-
Shut up.
Yeah, and they had to figure each other out. They had to figure out like, what are you guys doing here? Oh, we're filming a show. Oh, when can we watch it? They had to talk. Like they had to have a meeting. Like we're not moving in. We don't live here. We live like down there in that thing. I mean, obviously, they didn't use English, but somehow or another they communicated whatever they needed to. And like 20 minutes later or so, we were allowed to go back to work.
Were there dead bees on the ground when you got over there?
No, I don't think so. It's hard to find them. I mean, if there were, try
Yeah.
to find a dead bee on the ground.
No, but I mean, like if there were, like there would be more than one. You'd imagine
Right.
like maybe like 30 dead bees on the ground.
Like 300 for
Yeah.
dead bees, like the movie 300. Just fucking Xerxes victims everywhere.
Have you ever driven through a big flock of bees?
No.
A swarm of bees?
No. Driven through them, like smack, smack, smack all over the windshield?
Over by NBC in Burbank, you know, that like right off Alameda, that back road. I was driving through one time. I had my windows down, and all of a sudden, thought maybe 1,000 bees just flying around and all into the car. And I was like, mother.
Wow. What'd you do?
I just kept driving, and I just sped up, and I was like, and they came in and out of the car pretty quickly, but I drove right through them. And that same thing happened in front of our house. In front of our house, there's a dead, like elm tree or something, or a walnut tree. It was a walnut grove, and it's all hollowed out. And there were like 1,000 bees living inside that. And my daughter's terrified of bees. And our neighbor just went in and put like a towel in the top and just locked him in and had him die.
Whoa, what a mean fucker he is.
He's a dick.
Jesus Christ. Did you ever see there was a guy, I think it was Long Island, that found this mega colony in his attic. He went up in his attic, and it was either ants or it was either bees or wasps. I don't remember which one it was. But what I remember is this fucking guy was up in his attic and was like, holy shit. We're talking about something as big as this table. Oh. Like this enormous, enormous bee colony in his attic. They just had found a way through. They said, fuck, it's warm in here. Let's keep, and he just never went up there. And so they just kept building this goddamn thing until it was this huge shelter.
They've got Africa.
See, there's a video of it, Jamie, if you could find it.
They got Africanized bees in Bisbee, oddly enough. Like all over. I saw that online one time. Literally, those are the killer bees. Those are the bad ones.
Yeah.
And they got dudes that, I think it was a TV show now that I said it. That sounds like I fucking read something. But I think it was a reality show about a guy who would just get rid of Africanized bees. Those are the scary ones.
Yeah, remember when you were a kid and everyone was scared of African killer bees?
Dude, quicksand, killer bees.
What happened to quicksand?
Oh, we've talked about this, I think, before.
Where did quicksand go?
They turned into porn. The quicksand, bees. I mean, I thought there was a bunch of shit that was going to get me.
Yeah, the Russians.
The Russians. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Remember when you were a kid?
Fuck yeah. Dude, I thought the bomb was going to happen.
These fucking kids today, they don't know. These fucking kids today.
Let me tell you something. Last night, Joey Diaz is on stage at the Ha Ha. I'm not going to do his bit at all. I don't even know if it's a bit or it's him talking. Because quite honestly, I watched him smoke maybe 10 cupfuls of hash on Vine before he came there. But he was doing this bit. I'm in the back just kind of watching him. And he's doing this bit about watching two dogs fuck.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I'm
not going to do it.
Yeah.
But what was happening was there were these two, I'm going to say gay hipsters. They have man buns. And they were just looking at each other. They're like shaking their head going, that's not true. And I was like, oh, man. Like, our kids are so far removed from, like, the stray dogs fucking in your front yard that these guys think that dogs, you just adopt them and that they're almost genetically made in laboratories, that they don't just fuck on the streets. Like, that. It was so interesting to watch these two kids just go, like,
well, that's sort of part
true.
of the premise of Joey's bit. That, you know, you don't see that anymore.
Yeah. No, but it was watching these kids just look at each other and just shake their head. And I was like, I remember seeing that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Joey's bit is so funny.
Dude, he was hilarious last night.
Tuesday night at the store, too. He was on fire. Tuesday night at the store, he was on fire.
And he just gets off stage, he's like, bye. I go, I thought we were going to hang out. No, fuck that cocksucker. I got to go.
Yeah.
I'll see you. I'll come over to your house for Girl Scout cookies. I got to go.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny crazy what happened to Lee, being like out of everyone that we know, all the comedians, Lee, his assistant on his podcast, is banned from that hotel. The
Silver Point. What is it?
South Point. South Point. Banned for life.
What hotel?
South Point.
He was given out allegedly.
He gave a star to somebody.
Should we tell his story? I don't know. We don't know if.
Allegedly, he gave a star.
Yeah, probably shouldn't tell his story.
Gave a star.
I don't know if this was a story.
I'm sure he's on his. It's on his podcast.
I
don't know.
No, let me tell you something.
Maybe.
Joey gave out the guy who makes our T-shirts. He gave out his phone number online, and he called me. He goes, "If you ever do business with that cocksucker again, I'll fucking kill you."
Jesus
I was like, Joey, I already have a shirt order in. He's like, cancel it. It's me or him.
Whoa.
So I had to go through new people to get my shirts.
Really?
Fuck yeah. Because you think you want to fuck with Joey?
What was it about?
Nothing. Fucking nothing sometimes. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, but Joey wouldn't tell me. He's like, dude, fuck him.
It had to be something.
It's oh,
I would assume.
Oh yeah,
Joey's been on a tear lately, hasn't he?
Well,
motherfucker.
Joey doesn't give a fuck. If he thinks you're a piece of shit, he wants
New
the world
shirts.
to know. What are these?
This is the new shirt. It's from the time I fought the bear. Can you see it?
No.
It says marshmallow.
What is it? I don't get
It's a
it.
bear. See a bare
I
face?
see it, yeah.
And it says marshmallow in it.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I fought a bear. I've told you the story before, but I got one for all you guys, and there's an extra one left over. I shouldn't put them right in front of us. That's going to be distracting.
So this guy is a new guy that made your shirts. 'Cause
Yeah.
You couldn't do it with the guy that Joey hates.
Joey's loyal, man. That
Oh,
is
he's
the one thing
definitely
about
that.
that guy.
He's definitely that. Yeah. Joey's is very passionate.
Oh.
I don't know what
Passionate lover.
happened, but he's great if you're great to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great if you're great to him, but if you fuck him over, if you act like a cunt, he comes down. It comes down hard.
He'll call you
The
on it
wrath of
first.
Odin.
Has he ever called you on something you did? Like just been,
Joey and I have been remarkably friendly forever. Remarkably. Like, even if we got upset at each other for anything, it was very, very minor.
Yeah, and it's usually because he hasn't had food
Yeah.
yet, or
like if he's gotten upset at anything, like the maddest he ever got at me was when I couldn't figure out where we should eat in Austin. 'Cause we had landed, and then we were driving, and like, where do you guys want to go?
Fucking find somewhere. You got that fucking phone in your pocket? Take the fucking phone out of your pocket and find somewhere. Jesus Christ, Joe Rogan, call somebody.
And he was like the worst. He was in the worst health out of all the time that I've known him. He was real big then, like real heavy.
Yeah.
And he, it's just when you get like that, I don't know what it is, that blood sugar spike thing where you just fucking need to eat right now, or you're freaking out. He gets there, he gets to that spot.
Oh, he got on me one time because he called me and I didn't answer, and then he called again and I didn't answer, and he called a third time and I still didn't answer, and then he started calling aggressively, and I was like, oh, something's wrong. So I pick up the phone and he goes, No, we're fucking friends. If I call, that means I need to talk to you. You pick up your fucking phone, or we're not fucking friends. Do you understand that?
I'm having like flashbacks when you talk like that.
And I call, you see my name, you fucking call me back.
How about how crazy he is with the fucking voicemails and the
Oh,
text?
yeah.
shit.
You can't leave a voicemail. You can't leave a text.
You call me.
You call me.
I go, well, come on, Joey. I go, why do you want everybody else to follow these rules? I go, these rules don't make sense. If it's so easy to just text you a message, say, hey, brother, show tonight is at 10. Why isn't that okay? He's like,
Because I'm insecure. I want to talk to you. I want to look you in the eyes like a man. You're going to fucking tell me something, and the next best thing is talking to you on the phone.
Like, well, it's hard to argue with that. No More Voicemail app is an app that kills voicemail, so callers have to text you instead.
I'm pretty sure you could just turn off voicemail.
Or you just let it fill
No,
up.
the fucking app.
I just let that bitch fill up.
Let me tell you something.
I never
Oh, yeah.
check those things.
Joey's been to every Easter at my house, every Christmas Eve, every Christmas dinner for the past, ever since I've known him. Because it's interesting because it's helped blossom a part of my personality. Because I'm really I got intimacy issues. Like I like to be friends with people, but my phone calls are usually pretty short. I don't want to bother people. I'm just afraid people bother people.
Well, that's just being considerate.
But Joey's one of those guys. Like the first Easter we invited him and my dad got along really far. He gave my dad marijuana. And fucking,
I was there.
Yeah. I sipped him edible marijuana. And
Did he dose him or did he tell him what he was doing?
Just gave him
offered him some popcorn.
Yeah.
Joey, here.
Just popcorn?
Mr. K, take some of this. And it's fucking edible marijuana. My dad eats some.
Oh, my God.
And my dad's like, and I go, Dad, that's edible marijuana. And he goes, no, buddy, it's popcorn. I go, no, that's
How old's your dad?
67 right now, probably.
And what was he doing back when pot was kicking? Back in the Dizzy?
He tried it a couple times, but he wasn't, like, he was a runner, so he didn't do it. And then Joey just starts laughing. Mr. K's going deep, motherfuckers.
Jesus.
And so I go over. I go, Joey, did you just give him marijuana? He goes, he took it. No, I didn't give it to him. He took it. So I fucking.
What kind of a fucking person expects some 69-year-old guy to know what the fuck popcorn is? Most 20-year-old kids all across the country don't know what popcorn is.
Joe, there's a picture I have of my dad. I'm not even lying, with his hand into his mouth like this, and Joey with that big Joey, like fucking, and
Howling
then
and laughing.
and then immediately I was like, my dad's like, well, what do I do? And I was like, and Joey's like, you're going with him, dog. Just hand me some. And
Oh
so
my
I ate
God.
some. My wife's losing her fucking mind. Now everyone's on edibles on Easter morning. In fucking all the kids are Easter egg hunting. I go into the man cave. I lock the doors.
Oh my
Joey's like,
God.
we're podcasting, cocksuckers.
Oh no.
Turns on my podcasting equipment. And we do probably my most epic podcast ever.
Wow.
Of just Joey But he's like, but I'll tell you what.
Your dad had fun though, right?
My dad had a blast. You want to know the really best part? That night, we all leave. Everyone leaves. That night, me and my dad went to my sister's house, sat outside, had a cigar. And my dad has always had a problem with my lifestyle. And we're both higher than giraffe pussy. And he's like, buddy, I want to tell you why I bother you about your lifestyle. My father reminded me so much of you. My father died when he was 42 from blood pressure issues. And I've never been one to hound you, but you need to I want you to go to a cardiologist, get a CT scan. I want you to get the full comprehensive thing right now. And I was like, and he goes, I said, if I did that, would that make you feel comfortable? And he goes, that would change my life. And I was like, why did we have to be high to have this conversation? And so the fucking next month I went in, I got a full fucking comprehensive overview. Totally fine, high blood pressure, but totally fine. My dad's like, I'm not even fucking around when I say this. My dad loves Joey Diaz because of that moment. Because he got my dad, a very uptight guy, to a place where he could kind of connect with me and talk to me for the first time like that. And go, you're drinking. I don't know if you do drugs on the road. I don't know what you do. And we just had a great conversation. And every fucking family event we ever had that my dad's at, my dad's like, did you call Joey? He just fucking loves his daughter. Yeah, like my dad loves Joey. Really, literally.
Everybody who knows Joey loves Joey.
Oh,
Once you get to know him.
Oh, my kids fucking love him.
Yeah.
Oh, he calls out Isla El Diablo.
It's just when he goes off, man, you just gotta back away. Like that John Caparulo thing.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
hey, Caparulo was asking me to get involved. I'm like, you're on your own, dude. You're on your own here. I don't know what happened. I was outside of that. I wasn't at the store where all this shit was going down. I don't know what Caparulo did that pissed Joey off so much, but Joey's insistent,
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear it. I'm like, you
watching
guys
it
gotta
on
work this
Twitter,
out.
just watching it on Twitter
Yeah.
was insane. Every 3 seconds.
Like if it was you and him, I would have to get involved.
Right.
I'd have to go, okay, what happened? What the fuck is going on? But with I don't know Caparulo that well. I just know him like, hey, what's up, man? So I'm like, you're on your own. Sorry, dude. I don't know what to tell you. One guy's my brother, and the other guy I barely know you. I mean, I know you like hi, but like we never hang out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you did. But Joey, when he gets this thought in his head that you're the enemy, he doesn't let it go. Like if he saw Tommy today, like Tommy from the old Comedy Store, he would spit in his face. Like he would get fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. Like what
He's
you see is
legit.
what you get. There's no act. And that's when Joey really became Joey on stage. Because Joey was always the funniest guy in the parking lot. And then he would go on stage and I don't know what it is, man. He just couldn't figure out. Those tense moments? Like I was watching someone last night that was just starting doing comedy and she was doing a set and I could tell like she's got potential but she just can't get comfortable up there. She can't be herself.
Yeah.
There's like this something, these thoughts, this like compression that's holding you back. Joey had that. And then one day he didn't have it anymore. I mean, it was crazy. And we had been friends for like a couple of years and he just wasn't doing well, like he wasn't doing well on stage, and then all of a sudden he was murdering. Like I've never seen anything like it before. It was like a switch flipped, and there's a different person out there, and he was the same guy from the parking lot. It doesn't matter who the fuck's in the crowd. It didn't matter. He would say shit. You're like, how the fuck did he just say that racist shit? And it was just the most ridiculous shit and really fucking funny. All of a sudden, like out of nowhere.
He was inspirational last night. Like I watched him in the back. I know Joey really well. But man, I watched him and I was like, that's the same voice you're doing. The same voice you call me on the phone with is on stage, and you're not. And I didn't feel like anything was a bit. I felt like it was really morphed into him. It's just Uncle Joey talking to you, cocksuckers.
Well, he's real dedicated right now. You know,
Oh,
he's out there huffing it every night. He's putting in a lot of sets.
Oh, dude, he calls me up. He goes, dude, every fucking Wednesday night. It's fucking 5 minutes from your house, cocksucker. I'll
Yeah.
pick you up.
I go there.
I went there last night.
It's amazing.
I had a great time, man. It's
fun.
And the owners are so fucking cool.
He's
Jack,
really, really
Jack
nice
Jr.'s
guy.
his son runs the Wednesday night workout.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm telling you, man, I've told you this. We've had this conversation a lot, but I'll say it out loud. I'm when you get back into stand up, it's like working out. When you ever, I don't know, I'm saying this only to Joe now, right now. If you ever work out so much where when you sit down, you can feel your abs tighten up. You're like, I feel good, man. I'm in good shape right now. Like that's what when you're doing stand up like that, like all the fucking
Get
time.
tight. Yeah.
Oh.
Your act gets nice and tight.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm in fucking hardcore fucking stand up mode.
Nice.
I love it, man. I love it so much.
Well, we were talking about this, that you do that show so much that maybe it's reached the point where the show is kind of getting in the way.
I didn't realize it. You had said that to me at one point. You had said a couple things to me that were a little heavy that I couldn't wrap my head around, and I think
That's
it was,
me, man. I'm heavy, bro.
No, I think it was because I wasn't doing stand up. I didn't understand what I was trying to do. But you get into production mode.
But what did I say that was heavy?
The two things you said is you need to stop doing that show. You need to get back on stage. You're too good of a comic to fucking not be doing stand up like all the time. And then the other thing you said was you got to be looking at this show you're doing and you need to be writing about this on stage. The problem is I couldn't write about what I was doing. I didn't know how to write about these activities because I wasn't in stand up mode. I was in production mode.
Right.
Like what time's our call time? What time's the flight leaves? How
I
much
just
time do
thought
we
it was
need?
crazy that you live such an adventurous life, and yet you don't talk about it on stage. I mean, you're all over the world.
Oh, dude, I just this past week, and I'm gearing up to do my hour. I got to say this before I forget. I am taping my hour special for Showtime April 1st at the Irvine Improv. If you'd like to get tickets, you can go to my Twitter feed. You can get a link right there, or go to the Irvine Improv. 2 shows Friday night, a 7:30 and an 8.
Wow, half-hour set.
Yeah. 7:30 and an 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I'm fucked up. No, 7:30 and 10 or whatever. 7:30 and 10. It's a
Quick turnover.
It's a quick
We're
turnover.
doing a 10-minute special.
You're releasing your special on Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go to the Irvine Improv and get tickets because I'd like to sell it out. I'd like to have a packed room and it's like a 500 seater.
Why wouldn't you like to have it empty? I'd like to. I'd like to sell it out. I would like the show to be successful, so please laugh.
Fucking yeah.
The Irvine Improv's the shit too. The new place is really excellent.
Yeah.
Callan filmed his thing there.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. I opened for him. It's sweet. It's a real nice setup, man.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah. I've done it a couple times on Tuesday too. They have a fun Tuesday night there. I think I did a weekend there once too. It's great.
Yeah.
The new Irvine Improv's fucking smoking. It's perfect.
And
That's cool.
I kept looking at like I mean all these shows. I mean it's so easy to see specials on Netflix, but like everything looked a little cookie cutter where it was like everything was done like the certain type of thing. I was like, I don't do theaters. It makes sense that you or Bill would do a theater show. When do I ever do a fucking
I'm not
theater?
doing theaters anymore for specials. I
so
do theaters if I'm in a place like Vegas or if I want to go to a town for one night. I'll do a theater, but
Yeah.
Arenas
specials,
only now, right?
hockey arenas
with the ice.
on ice, and I can't skate. No, I can't skate at all, man. It would be a lot of a lot of shitty movement.
Who did you say that to?
Action Bronson?
Action Bronson, that is the funniest goddamn interview when you're talking and he's like talking like he's totally Action Bronson
Yeah.
in that and you just go, I can't skate. I laughed fucking hysterically.
He was like, "Are you fucking serious?"
How you not skate?
Dude, we were on Pluto. We were so high during that interview. It was so ridiculous, and he kept going.
He smoked it like a cigarette.
Yeah, he kept going. He does that all day. He's just constantly going. He had a fucking you ever see those when those Cuban cigar rollers they roll like their fucking stack of the day?
Yeah.
That's what he had with him, like just a stack of blunts. Wow.
I'm telling you, I've got 19 million things to talk to you about, but like that Viceland, I'm fucking fascinated.
Viceland's great. The show's great. His show is excellent too.
Fuck That's Delicious. I
Yeah.
watched that. I found that at the beach one weekend, and I watched all of them.
Food shows are great.
But the way he does it, it's
Yeah.
real. It's not like I'm here at the ... and we're ready to, you know. I did that for when we did reshot Bert the Conqueror, and I'm not saying I stole from Action Bronson, but like after watching enough content, I was like, I don't need the intros. I don't need any of this shit. Just give me the action.
Right.
So when we did Bert the Conqueror, it's not going to air for maybe ever, I don't know, until June. But there's no intros, none of that. It's just real. Like,
great.
and that's the way content should be done.
Yeah, maybe a short introduction, like staring at the camera like you would if your friends were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of this like, super polished professional thing. 'Cause the problem with your show is it's a great show. You love doing it, but you take months away from stand-up.
Yeah.
And that's just too much for a guy as funny as you. Doesn't make any sense.
I don't think I saw that until I started getting back on stage and going like, oh fuck, man. You know what happens when you don't do it all the time is you don't work on your jokes. You don't take that bit. You know, like
You can't.
yeah, you just do it one time. You're like, it worked. I'm good.
The only way you could really do stand-up is to do it all the time. And to do it in front of audiences all the time, like that's how the bits have to come together. You can't do it on your own. Need people.
You got to be in that zone. Bill was talking to me about it. He had said something like, man, I gotta go knock the rust off. And I was like, well, when was the last time you were on stage? He was like, last Sunday. I went, hold on. I've spent like months off stage.
Yeah.
And he was like, how can you do that?
Months is rough. If I take a week off, I don't like it. If I take 2 weeks off, it feels like I can take a week off if I'm going on vacation. I'll say, okay, I'm going on vacation. I'm not thinking about shit. When I go on vacation, I make a concerted effort to just pay attention to entertainment.
Yeah.
Like I watch movies or I'll read a book or maybe I'll check Twitter real quick to see if anything wacky's going on in the world. And that's it. Like very little. I don't want to take anything. I don't want to talk about business. I don't give a fuck. I just want to hang out and chill.
Yeah.
So I can do that. But when I'm like, if I take a week off and I just haven't done stand up and then I get back on stage again, I feel like I got to get the engine cranking again.
Yeah.
So the longest I've ever taken off is from surgery. I think when I twisted my knee, I took maybe a month off or something like that.
Yeah.
After ACL surgery, maybe a little more than a month. It gets weird.
It
gets
does.
weird.
And you lose material. And for me, I write a lot and like on stage, so I lose material. So
You
I
lose like tags and stuff.
I lose like big chunks where I go, one day I'm like, oh wait, whatever happened to that fucking joke?
Is the Travel Channel cool with you not doing that show, or do they want to keep doing it? Do you?
I don't know.
You're doing Bert the Conqueror for them as well, right?
Right now we're doing 2 shows, but I'm not doing anything. It was kind of understood I was going to take a little bit of a sabbatical,
Right.
to focus on stand up. And my agents were reached out and they're like, you know, technically I don't have to work all the time. I was just doing it because I wanted money.
Right.
And they were like, we're cool with just the base of the deal, and then give him the time to do stand up. And then I got back in stand up, and I was like, I started going like, okay, I can't do the show the way I normally do. I can't just go, all right, let's 2 weeks go to fucking Micronesia.
Right.
Like I was like, I need to be on stage every week.
Yeah.
I need to, but for me, you know, the store and like some of the smaller clubs, I like doing an hour. I like working the hour. So I like being on the road fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Why don't you do a show, if you're going to do a show for them, a show that involves stand-up? I mean, it's the damn Travel Channel. How about you do a show where you go and you do stand-up on the road, and then you go out to places sort of like Dave Attell used to have, like Insomniac.
Yeah.
Like that kind of a thing, just visiting places. And then come up with shit to do in those places that you visit. That way you can do both.
The network's changed direction, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen with anyone really, because they haven't really. Candidly, I think everyone knows this, but the network kind of did like a cleaning house and moved everyone to Knoxville and left Chevy Chase, Maryland, and there's a new president and a new SVP.
Knoxville, Tennessee?
Yeah, that's where Scripps is headquartered.
Scripps?
Scripps owns Travel Channel. They own DIY, HGTV.
Are we supposed to know this shit? You're saying it like it's...
No,
Everyone knows this,
yeah,
Joe.
come on,
You know
Joe.
this? I mean, the word's out.
No,
I mean,
Scripps.
Brian, what fucking
Scripps.
word is this, man? You're so inside.
They've been my boss for 6 years. I can't imagine anyone doesn't.
You're such an industry guy.
But
Knoxville, Tennessee. What the fuck is that place like?
that's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yeah, their old comedy club is right around the corner from where Scripps headquarters is.
What comedy club's that?
Oh, it's broken down now. It's like just some beat up and just got the theoretically like the Chuckle Hut signature on the thing.
Is it not existent anymore?
It's not existent, but man, I got to be honest with you. If I had an extra chunk of change, I'd fucking open it, because I love those little box comedy clubs that, you know, like the
Punchline Atlanta
Yeah, Punchline Atlanta was such a great fucking club.
Wait, that's not open anymore?
No, it's closed.
went under. Jamie, remember Jamie from the Punchline?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get me that piece of. There was a piece of wallboard that says "Quit trying to be Hicks."
Yeah.
Somebody wrote it in graffiti. I loved that fucking
I
thing.
have a photo of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was hilarious.
That was a
It's so
great
important.
fucking club.
That's sad.
yeah.
So what took its place down there?
Well, they had parking issues, if
Right.
you remember. They always had parking issues, and I don't know if they lost their lease. I don't know what happened.
That's sad.
But I guess they're reopening. They're going to open up a new one somewhere else.
If I'm not mistaken, they might have already reopened because they gave me an offer for the
Oh.
weekend before my special.
Well, that's good.
But I think right now they're like in limbo.
Okay. They have the Laughing Skull there too.
Great
Oh,
club.
that's a
Fitzsimmons
great
is
club.
there this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, Fitzsimmons is going there this weekend. I don't think he's ever been there before. We were talking to him about how awesome it is. And then there's the Improv now, right?
Yeah.
Improv is supposed to be pretty good there too, right?
I've done that one too. That's good. It seats a lot more.
How many people?
A lot. I'm probably 320.
Okay. They're doing a lot of big clubs now. Like they're doing like the 500 seaters, like those kind, like the new Irvine Improv is 500 plus seats.
Columbus Funny Bone.
Yeah.
Columbus
That's-
Funny Bone.
We were talking about that last night.
I'm doing a Call and Sit to Work show March 17th
What
there.
does that mean?
I told you about these. I go in, I do radio, I drink, and then do like an 11 a.m. show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've sold out everywhere. I've never had them not sell out. So they're fun as shit, but it's like 11 a.m. show, and everyone just calls in sick to work and gets fucking blitzed. So it's St. Patty's Day, and Stroop called up. He's like,
God.
it's fucking insane. They're insane.
What is your dad worried about with your lifestyle? It's weird. I
Dude,
don't know
I'm-
why you would be worried about your
I'm
drinking.
dialed in. I can lighten up my party, and I don't party as hard as people think.
You're
I think.
he's my canary now. Like that's a perfect canary, right?
I'm not anyone's
He doesn't
canary.
smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, that's true.
How much do you weigh right now?
207.
Are you serious?
206.
How tall are you?
5'8".
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought you were 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yeah.
Bert's barely paying attention to you.
I know. What the fuck?
He's like he's over there somewhere.
Yeah.
You know that guy.
Well, congrats on your weight loss.
Thanks, man. I mean, I was 228 January 1st, so it's falling off pretty
I was
That's
easy.
256 November 30th.
And you're 255 today.
Nope.
No?
230.
Really? What'd you do?
No bread.
Yeah, so
That's a
I'm
big
Just
one.
it. No fucking bread.
Isn't that amazing? Just cut out bread and you will lose a lot of weight.
I mean, and I've been having beer. Like, it's not like carbs, but just no fucking bread.
It's so crazy. Have you ever thought about what it'd be like if you cut it all out? All carbs?
Yeah, I think I'd be boring as fuck.
Why do you think you'd be boring?
Just, I
Bread makes you awesome?
No, but I think the thing about like the thing I like about my personality, or the thing I like about life, is just is impulse. I love impulse. Now, and it's tough when you're on a diet. You'd be shocked when you've been groomed on this lifestyle how often you just go to the fridge and open it, because that's what impulse provides. It's like how often you go to get a snack, you're like, wait, oh fuck, I can't snack. Like, and so it's interesting to pull that part of your personality back. And the last part of my personality is like, I don't know, if like a good opportunity shows up and someone wants to do a shot, I want to be able to do a shot. So like, I think that cutting out all carbs together would just be tough for me.
What about just cutting out beer and just doing like vodka or something? Because isn't beer way worse for you than?
I did that during this whole time. I cut out beer entirely, but
Definitely a lot, a lot of calories.
a lot of calories. I was kind of slow rolling wine mostly, and then doing
Slow rolling wine?
Yeah.
Is that another expression that I'm not aware of? Are you a slow wine roller, Brian?
Sometimes when I have a box of wine that
Do
I
you ever
carry
say
around.
I'm slow rolling?
Box of wine is the best.
Yes,
A box of wine
it's
is
one of the best
awesome.
inventions in the world.
Did you buy it from Napa? Did you
see-
drive up there? And
When I drink wine, I would always drink like as if it's a normal beverage. Like I'm just, it's so. That's the best way to get drunk. It's
When we were
box of wine.
doing trip flip on the road, the last season, I was going through like a box of wine a night, and I was like, "That's
Oh
not
my God.
What?
Brian, wait, hold on, Brian. I didn't know
You were
it
going
was 2
through a-
bottles.
it makes
I
me
thought
want
it was
wine.
one.
Do we have any wine, young
I
Jamie?
thought it was one.
Do we? See if we have any wine, young
So
Jamie.
I was going through a box of wine a night, and then I told my buddy Paul, I go, man, I gotta be honest with you. A box of wine a night, I think that's my limit. I'm going to try to stay under that, and I'll be healthy. And he goes, it's still a lot of wine. I go, yeah, like on paper. And he goes, 2 bottles is a lot. I go, these are 2 bottles.
Actually, I think it's more than 2 bottles
it's-
for a box of
Hold
wine.
on.
I think it's
Hold
like
on.
6 or something.
Wait the fucking minute. You really just said a box of wine a night is not that much.
I was under the impression it was one bottle of wine. So I'm sitting there
But
going
even
like,
a bottle of wine by yourself, you don't think that's a lot of alcohol?
And it's not a one bottle or two.
I've had this conversation with Dr. Drew. I don't see a bottle of wine as a lot of alcohol personally.
I've had this conversation with Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Why?
Because everyone always says the same thing you're fucking
Why are you
saying.
prefacing it with that?
I look at wine as a little differently.
Oh,
than like
unrealistically.
Like if you said to me, what would you rather have? A 12-pack of beer, a bottle of wine, or a bottle of vodka? I go bottle of wine. It's grown up. You sit back. Maybe
I like wine.
Yeah.
I like the flavor.
I do.
I like the taste. But I can't imagine if I drank a bottle a day, I wouldn't be freaking out. This is a big conversation to have, man. Like, people get upset if one person expects other people to be healthy. You know, like
Yeah.
they get upset if you try to impose your healthiness on them. Like if people are working out and they have a friend that doesn't work out, come on, get to the gym, go to the gym.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
They never do. And it's a fine line you dance when you're on a podcast where you want to talk about like fitness and fitness goals you're doing, and then give advice to friends like maybe you should try like this, because people will get upset because we all know that we probably should be eating better. We
Yes.
all like say, one day I'm going to really fucking do this. One day I'm going to start blending vegetables in the morning and stop eating Honey Nut Cheerios with fucking chocolate milk. You know?
Listen,
Wine.
I'm
Like gentlemen.
anyone that is a fan of mine right now that listens to my podcast knows exactly what I'm going to tell you.
Salute, gentlemen.
Salute.
Wine.
Cheers.
Like gentlemen.
By the way, can I tell you, there's
get
two
you?
different kinds of boxes of wine typically. And there's a smaller one and the more normal one, like the Friend Zero or whatever it's called.
Oh, this is delicious.
The smaller one's four
almost done mine.
bottles. The smaller one's 4 bottles of wine.
What?
The typical box of wine is 6 2/3 bottles.
Jesus
I was
Christ,
on the
dude.
road. I was in Africa. I don't know
I
what
was
it was.
on the road. You were drinking 4 bottles of wine a night. Dude.
No,
You're
I
like a
wasn't drinking
sailor.
4 bottles. I don't look.
You're like a pirate.
The other thing I'll say is that I drink usually when I have my bottle of wine, I have it on the treadmill. So
What the fuck did you just say?
I drink.
You drink a bottle of wine while you're on the treadmill.
Yeah.
All right, Bert, you need to go to someone.
No,
Steps.
listen.
You can't drink wine on the fucking treadmill. That
Why
is
not?
because
Do you smoke pot and go to jujitsu?
that is a totally different thing.
my
Bullshit.
What do you mean bullshit? Why are you
How's
saying
that so
bullshit?
different?
Because it does. First of all, it's not alcohol. Alcohol is bad for your body. Marijuana
Yeah.
is not bad for your body. In fact, it's an anti-inflammatory.
But it's cardio. You're smoking and
Doesn't
then
have
working
any
out.
effect on your cardio. In fact, it probably has a positive benefit. In fact, ultra marathon runners smoke pot. They smoke pot and eat pot, and there's been studies that have been done recently. There's Bert.
Oh my
Bob
God.
drinking a beer.
Really?
On
On
a
the
treadmill.
treadmill.
There's
How
been
did you
studies.
fucking find that?
And by the way, beer, not a bad thing to drink after you work out. A beer, it replenishes the body with glycogen, according to some people, because the alcohol and the hops.
Yeah.
Like some people say that after a nice workout, a beer is not a bad thing to have.
Lance Armstrong said that on your podcast.
Did he?
That they used
Well,
to
he
drink
does
beer.
that, yeah.
They used to drink beer. That was their steroid back in the 20s.
Tour de France.
For the Tour de France.
Wine, too. They used to get fucked up because they were sore and in pain all the time.
No, it would lower your blood. It would thin your blood out, so you could. It was like doping. It was the same thing as doping. Theoretically, it was low grade doping, if I'm not mistaken, because I was
But
really
you don't want to
fascinated.
thin your blood out, dude. You want to do the opposite. You want to thicken it.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to thin your
Listen.
blood out. Like, you don't want to be dehydrated. You want to be extra hydrated. It's
I
like
just-
the opposite.
For me, it was a way to
Drink
relax at the end of the night, watch some TV, get on my treadmill, listen to a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
put on YouTube, and get on the treadmill and just kind of walk at a 4 and have a bottle of wine.
Well, listen, it's way better than not walking on the treadmill and just drinking the bottle of wine.
Okay, then we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's way better than not doing the treadmill,
Yeah.
for sure. But well, that's a lot of wine.
I'm not drinking it every single night.
How many nights a week? 5?
Wow, feels like an intervention.
But honestly, how many nights a week?
Did I drink wine?
Yeah.
Well, right now it's bad because I'm on the road, so it would just be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Those nights, you drink several bottles of
No,
wine.
but I'm doing stand-up, so I go on the stage, I have a cocktail. I'm not as dialed in as I'm never going to be able to just tell you I have one bottle. I'm not like a housewife. I might have one bottle of wine a night.
Housewife.
Like I'm on the road all the time, so like
No, I understand.
I'll drink on the road sometimes, and when I'm home, I don't drink. But I was like, I didn't drink last. Oh, I drank a little bit last night, but
It just seems like a stunning number. 4 bottles of wine a night, if that's the same size box as he's talking about.
Yeah, and your blood sugar must be out of control from all that wine.
blood sugar is probably a little out of sync because I noticed that if I have like a cup of coffee the next morning, I start firing real hot, like almost like manic, and it's pretty. You write really good when your blood sugar's spiking.
Really?
I do. Can we just talk about Stanhope?
We can talk about anything, man. We can talk about anything, but the fact that it makes you uncomfortable talking about your wine
sweating
consumption
right now. Yes.
I don't know. We love you. We want you to be healthy.
Dude, I've lost a ton of weight. My blood pressure's great. I'm doing a lot better than I was doing. So like I'm on the right path.
Do you think that doing this Travel Channel show where you're constantly on the road all the time makes it worse?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think it would because you don't really like flying either, so you like to get liquored up before flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those flights to Vietnam were pretty tough.
Bong, bong, bum, bum, bum.
I wish there was a guy that could eat pills, but I'm not that guy.
I heard Vietnam is awesome. That's Anthony Bourdain's favorite place to visit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to anyone listening. If you got 13 friends and you guys want to have an amazing fucking week of your life, take coach seats to Vietnam, cheap, and just go to Halong Bay, get a junk boat, and just go around. It's super inexpensive to be on a junk boat, and they're beautiful. They're fully captained and staffed. You have your own chef. And
What?
They should change the name of Junk Boat if it's that nice.
Yeah.
I know that's
I
they're
thought you
beautiful.
were talking about like a raft.
Pull up just type in Vietnamese junk boat, and you'll see they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous, all teak. Like they sleep 13, and it was $800 a night.
How many expats are there?
A few, a bunch, I would
Do you
say.
think you could do a show?
A stand-up show? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. That's a junk boat.
Dude, that's like a pirate ship.
And
It's
that
like some
is-
crazy Game of Thrones ship.
$800 a night, and that's Halong Bay that he's in right there.
Wait a minute. That's $800 a night for everyone on board?
Nope, just one, just for everyone sleeps. Ours slept 13. It was
For
$800 a
13
night.
people, it's $800 combined?
Yep.
That's insane.
Joe, that includes food and all crew.
How safe is it?
100% safe. It's a bay. You're not going. It's just all cliffs and mountains. It's really gorgeous.
Wow. And what is crime like in Vietnam?
It's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't go out late at night, and you don't just the thing about Vietnam that I witnessed or I experienced was that like if you get in a fight with one Vietnamese dude, 100 Vietnamese guys are jumping on top of you. Like that was the
Who got in a fight?
one of the expats that was running one of the things we did. He said, I was like, I wanted to go get these egg sandwiches. They have these great egg sandwiches. They're the most amazing egg sandwiches I've ever had. And I was like, I'm gonna go run out. I'm gonna get 10 of them. And he goes, well, bring someone with you. Well, because they're like 50 cents each, and the lady makes them in on a hot dog cart. And she made it, dude. They're the best. And I had my whole crew with me, so I was getting them for everyone.
Oh, okay. What was in them?
Egg, shredded pork, and I don't think cheese. No cheese because Vietnamese don't really fuck around with cheese.
Really?
And hot sauce. Yeah, I don't think there was cheese. But the eggs were cooked perfectly, and the bread was so soft and flaky, and it was hollowed out in the center. So when the egg fell apart, all it did was just kind of melt into the bread. So you had it was just the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. I think they're called bung ma, and I went out to go get 10, and the guy goes, bring someone with you. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go right across the street. And he's like, doesn't matter. Say if you get into some altercation because you cut in front of someone in traffic. Like, the big thing with traffic there is you don't run across the street. You walk. Even if they're coming at you, you walk so they can avoid you. You never change your pace. Because if you change your pace, that's how they hit you.
Oh, Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, and if you do that and you get a fight, you'll literally have 50 Vietnamese guys on you. And he was like, and it happens, and it happened to me. Like 2 weeks ago, I got in a fight with one guy, and everyone, like store owners were dropping their aprons and jumping on this guy, he said.
Whoa.
So, yeah, but I don't think it's crime ridden, but it's not fucking Montana.
It's amazing how quickly they forgave Americans. They sort of just like,
They probably didn't give America.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's like Japanese. Like, I think the older Japanese folks apparently just are still pretty pissed off. The ones that were alive when they dropped the bombs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
I could see that. That's fairly reasonable. You know? Japanese, it's a very fascinating culture because they're openly nationalistic. You know? Like you could say it's racist, but it's openly nationalistic. Like they just like no white people. They'll have bars, just no white people.
Oh, yeah.
You can't come in. Could you imagine if someone tried to do that in America? You had to say no foreigners. You put up is that the Donald Trump America? Like, they put up a no foreigners sign in front of certain establishments, and someone will argue that they have the right to do that.
There's a drinking club, a drinking club on, I want to say it's like called the Soho Room or something. It's on Sunset down near the Argyle, what used to be the Argyle. It's like a drinking club, and they were like, hey, we're setting a general meeting with this writer for you. And I was like, oh, cool. And they're like, you got to be a member. He's a member, and then he'll let you in, but it's members only. And I was like, oh, cool. And I rolled up, and my manager, Judy, was there. And I go, what are you doing here? She was like, I'm in the meeting. I was like, oh, they let women in here? Because I just assumed it was this like old men's only club. She's like, what fucking world have you been living in that you're shocked that they let women in? I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, this place doesn't seem as cool anymore.
Yeah, they shouldn't let them in.
Is there a place there's no place where they don't let women. There's places where you don't let men. Those curves places, those places where the older ladies like to work out, I guess. What is it? It's overweight people, right?
Yeah.
Or is it overweight people or all women?
I think it's just all women. I live next to a Curves.
There's places that are. Am I getting the right name? Because there's places that are just all women gyms. Is that what
Curves.
it's called?
That's
it's called
one of
Curves.
them, yes.
So
Yeah.
you couldn't go there,
No.
but you could never have a Dick Swingers Club like with only men. Could you have an all men gym? No, no one would ever let you.
I think you could probably do that. Or
I don't think you could. And I think the argument would be, the argument they would make, I'm not saying it's right, would be that women get sexually harassed and ogled at a regular gym, and they get uncomfortable, and they don't want to have to deal with men. They just want to work out.
they could probably at a bar have it called no broads or whatever, and like just have like the line that most bars have where they're like, no, we're only letting the women in tonight, you know.
And you say only let
and
the men
only
in?
let them in. They could probably easily do that. I don't think it's against the law.
I don't want to dare. I
Here,
bet
just have
Gloria
one.
All Right. No, I'm good.
No, leave it over here, Brian. I'll drink it.
Gloria All Right would fucking come after you, or one of those.
Yeah, they can't. They don't have
feminist
anything like
rights
that.
lawyers.
But I grew up in a. I feel like I grew up in a time when you'd go to the men's locker room, where the bar was, where they'd all the men would play cards as a kid, at like country clubs, and you'd walk in and you'd be like, one day, and then sadly that was all taken away before I could ever get there.
Yeah, there's no real place like a bachelor's club. You know, that's what pool halls used to be.
Yeah.
Pool halls was like what pool halls were at the turn of the century in New York City. It was like, and in a lot of places in the country, were these places where young men who didn't want a family, they wanted the bachelor life. They didn't want to have a 9-to-5 job, you know, some square life. They wanted to have action, and they wanted to gamble, and they wanted to drink, and they wanted to stay together and just be men. And they would go to pool halls, and they would gamble. And pool halls were almost entirely revolved around gambling, which is like a little known secret. Like the game is called pocket billiards, but it's called pool because you pool all your money together for a bet. That's the original name. That's the definition of the name pool.
Really?
Yeah. So at the turn of the century in New York City, there was something like 1,000 pool halls. And there was all these guys that just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to get married. They didn't want a 9-to-5 job. They wanted to live the bachelor life. And today, that's like disgraced. If you want to be a bachelor, if you want to be a 50-year-old guy and live by yourself, you never had kids, and you don't have a regular job, you just hang out in a pool hall all the time, you're a fucking loser. Yeah. It's amazing. But you could have the same amount of money, have a wife that you don't really like being around, you know, be trapped in some weird job, and people think you're a winner. You know, you'd have the same amount of money. It's like we have standards, and one of the standards is a bunch of men that don't want to be a part of society. You don't want to have a 9-to-5 job. You better be some outdoor dude. If you better be some camper or something. If you want to like get by and normal conversation with people and tell them that you're not married and you don't have a 9-to-5 job and you don't really care for that, but you're 49 years old. Like, you better have some reason. Like, he's really eccentric. He writes poetry in the woods. Like, you have to have fucking something that you do that people consider like a noble quest. If you're like, you know what I like to do? I like smoking cigarettes. I like drinking whiskey. I like being around my friends. Sometimes I save up enough money, I get a hooker. People are like, what the fuck? They'll get angry at you. They'll get angry at fucking loser. Look at this fucking, you want to be like this loser? He doesn't have a family. Sleeps till whenever he wants. Hangs out with a bunch of guys and laughs all night. Fucking loser.
I remember hearing someone right before I fell in love with my wife. I remember seeing someone at the Improv going, "Man, you don't want to be the old guy at the bar." And I went, I was like, oh fuck.
I was hanging out with Ron White the other night. It was great.
Yeah.
The old guy at the bar was awesome.
Yes.
We had a couple of drinks. We had some laughs. What are you pulling up, Jamie? What's going on? Some breaking news?
No, it was like a male club. What about like a Elks Lodge or a Knights of Columbus?
Do
or
they even exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Columbus.
I got an offer to be in one of those one time.
Yeah, but I mean, is it all guys?
Kiwanis.
Girls
This
go.
is like Aladdin Shriners. Like they're
These
called a
guys.
fraternal groups. I mean, fraternal means
Oh, right.
like
Looking at
all
that,
guys, yeah.
looking at that picture, I could tell how it smells in that room.
Yeah.
You know what I
like
mean?
old dudes farts.
Yeah.
It would almost be fun to hang out with those old guys, just hear them all drop N-bombs nonstop.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking hats. Can't we just agree when you become 60 years old, you don't want to wear that stupid hat? They're wearing a hat like a monkey that's begging for change. One of the monkey with a grinding box. You know, they have the hat with the tassel.
Yeah.
Those little monkeys. They always do that, right?
Whatever happened to the Friars Club?
Well, it was a big thing in New York, and it's a big thing with guys like, you know, who loves it is like Jeff Ross loves it.
Yeah.
I never got it. Fitzsimmons used to like it in New York. They used to go there and play pool.
It would be cool if they had like a legit pool. You could play poker. Know that there was like a Thursday night poker game you could go to.
Well, that was a lot of the same thing in a lot of ways. Is guys looking to hang out with other guys. Is looking to be. There's a certain amount of society that just demasculates you, and having a regular job where you have to, you know, and it's just when you have to wear a fucking tie and a suit, you're right away. You're doing something you don't want to do. You're dressing in a way that you would never dress if you were just left to your own devices, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a tie and a suit and a fucking one of those pocket scarf things, and you have to go to work and you can't swear. And you're there all day and your feet hurt because you got a wooden heel. You're walking around with a wooden heel and a fucking hard leather sole, like this stupid shoe that you have to wear. And you got a tie clip, and you have to bullshit on the phone, and you have to pretend to be someone that you're not all day long. That, like, when you have to pretend to not be a guy who likes pussy, or not be a guy who likes to party or swear, or you have to, like, neuter yourself in a lot of ways. And in doing so over long periods of time, especially when you're rewarded for that, you're rewarded for it at work, or your exemplary conduct. You know, he's got a great bedside manner. He's got wonderful office manners.
Yeah.
You know, you fucking slowly start to chip away at you. You start to slowly become something that you're not really. And you don't get a chance to express yourself. And you get a few hours at the end of the day to have a couple of drinks and go to sleep and do it all over again. And your reset period that you get over the weekend, it's not enough time. It's not enough time. You know, if you had a year to be yourself again and just be around your friends, and you guys could just behave and think the way you really feel, laugh at shit you actually think is funny, fuck around with each other.
That's being a comic.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I'll never forget. I'll never forget me, you, and Al, and we're sitting together talking about someone. You're like, I can get that guy to suck my dick, and me and Al laughed so fucking hard, and I just thought to myself, I thought no one lives because no one lives in no one lives in that world that we live in. That we're all a little fucking toasty, and you're like, I can get that guy to suck my dick, and like can you imagine saying that?
Why was I saying that? What was the guy doing? Who was the guy? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. But I love being able to say something totally retarded like that to my friends. Because you, like, when, like, Joey will say, like, the most fucked up. Like, he'll say fucked up shit on stage, but he'll pull you aside. He'll pull you aside and say some unbelievably fucked up shit that makes you laugh. That was one of the things that he was doing while that fucking whole Caparulo thing was going on. I'm going to have you and your cunt wife both suck my dick.
Jesus.
I was going, Jesus.
So dark.
It's so crazy.
Did he air those still up? Like, are all those tweets?
I don't know.
Still?
That was
Everything's
those are some of my favorite calls when Buns calls me, Tommy calls me. He's like, "Have you been following Joey's Twitter thread?"
Yeah.
And you just like, and like you literally are cleaning the sleep out of your eyes. Like, hold on, let me get in front of my computer. What's going on?
That's so fun.
Fucking Tommy, that's one of our biggest, because we started together doing the road together. And one of the favorite things, when you sit in the green room with a guy, is just kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I can bullshit with that guy.
Forever.
Forever.
He's the best.
He really is the best.
He's such a sweetie. He's such a great guy.
He's,
As is his wife. She's awesome, man.
I might argue that she's funnier than him.
She's pretty well. He's fucking hilarious.
He's
but
funny. He's funny in a way that and this is why. But he's like Joey, because I remember watching Tom when he just and this. Tom's hearing this, so I know I love you to death, Tommy. But like, there was a time where Tom, and he'll admit this, that he was trying to figure out how to do it like a tell, and he would just be like his pacing was off, and then all of a sudden something switched on him. And he's telling stories where I can't find out. I don't see the setup punch, but I'm howling, Tommy! He's just fucking howling, laughing at him. And I'm like, fucking, he is dialed in. He's in the sweet spot of his writing right now.
yeah, he's awesome. What I was gonna say was he's really fucking funny. But I know what you're saying because she's really fucking funny too.
She's hilarious.
She's really, and they have a kid now, which is gonna be really interesting. Because once you have a kid, you have a solid 20 minutes new material. It's just a matter of like covering over the same ground that everybody else covers over when you have a kid. You have to kind of like comb through your material and make sure none of it has been done before.
This dude that's really hard.
It's hard with like really common shared experiences that are transformative, like having a kid or something happened to you. Like guys who have cancer, a lot of times they have similar material about getting cancer. I remember Schimmel had a bunch of cancer bits after he got back from cancer.
Airplanes.
Those bits have been beaten down so much that you almost have to have something fucking catastrophic happen on a plane for you to do a joke about being on a plane. It's like that subject matter, like people's eyes sort of glaze over if you go over that because they've heard plane jokes and travel jokes because comedians talk about what they do. And if you only travel all the time, you're doing shows and then traveling. So like this show, no one's going to be able to relate to that. Like you're doing something weird. You're talking, everybody listens, people pay for that. What the fuck kind of job is that? That's just weird for people to relate to. And that's, for you, that's your job, but your job is also to live because you have to have things to talk about when you get up there. Your job is to #be curious. You know, which is why I was saying to you, it's kind of crazy that you have this insane life. Like your life is one of the more fascinating lives of all my friends because you travel everywhere. I fucking called him up one day. I go, what are you doing, man? He's like, I'm on a moped in Vietnam. Like, who the fuck can you call and they're on a moped in Vietnam? Like, your life is crazy. It's crazy in that way. You know, it's talking about it on stage. You're going to have so much material, man. If you stop doing that show, if you decide, and then, you do this hour, and then you go to make your next hour, and you start talking about just the crazy shit you've done, oh my God, you have so much time.
I mean, I literally, right now, I'm looking at this hour, and I'm chunking it out. And, my youngest daughter is a very interesting child. So, like, I've got a whole chunk about her. I've got a middle chunk I'm on the fence about, but it's fun stuff. It's good. But then I just literally break to, like, I fought a bear. I got involved with the Russian mafia.
Wow.
And then I'm like, just get rid of this chunk so I can go. I drank goat's blood with a Maasai chief. I fucking had my first open water dive at 90 feet. I fucking jumped off the tallest I jumped off the stratosphere. I jumped off I literally was like ready to get this hour out so I can just start writing.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I'm lucky right now because I go, I'm ready to go on the road and figure the hour out. I don't need it to murder. Mm-hmm. I need to figure it out.
Well, the way to do that is I think is doing these little short sets around town too. Where you just go up and say, for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk about drinking blood with the Maasai chief, and we'll fucking see what we can get out of this.
Yeah.
Just put it on your phone.
I just, this last weekend, a long time ago, I told you a story in passing, and this is how weird the podcasts are, is that I told you a story in passing that was I thought it was a funny story for me and you to talk about, and everyone loved it, and they've always chanted it out on my shows. I've never been able to tell it. It's the story about flying dildos going to the show. And it never worked. And I tried it on stage. People go, do it. And I'd be like, I'll do it, but it's not going to work because it's a good room for us.
Right.
But this last weekend, someone yelled, just fucking tell it. And so I told it, and it worked, and I figured out the ending. That's the best feeling in the world when you're like, okay, now I got my beginning, my middle, and my ending. Yeah. Now I got to figure out that middle guts, and I can get through this. Holy shit. And then I'm like, all right, let's get April 1st. Let's get this hour done. I'm ready to fucking write. Like, I'm ready to.
Powerful, Bert Kreischer.
Fucking man.
You're very excited. Your eyes are wide. You're very excited.
I'm in stand-up mode, man.
Good. Beautiful.
It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's the reason you get into this, and then this business takes over somehow and says.
No, it doesn't. You let it. You don't have to let it. Don't let it take over.
You need money. You know the feeling.
But you make money.
I know,
You
but
make money doing stand-up too.
yeah, but I wasn't making money doing stand-up the way I'm making it now 6 years ago.
What about podcasts? Do you have good ads in your podcasts?
Yeah, make good money on my podcast. I wouldn't say I make like what you or Corolla make, but like at all. But good money, like definitely good money, like enough to pay for maybe a couple cars.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to guess. I don't know. Like
That's very specific.
that was actually very specific.
Couple domestic cars, fully loaded. Satellite
Expedition
radio.
and a BMW, whatever.
So tell me about your stand-up trip.
This is the best decision I ever made in my grown-up life.
Yeah?
Yep.
What'd you do? What'd you decide?
I'd said on podcast with you, I'd said I wanted to go out there for the Super Bowl, and it didn't work out because I did a podcast with Kroll on Monday, and I wouldn't be able to make it back. And I felt bad. I felt like I didn't get. I was like, because I really love Doug. I think he's one of the sweetest guys around. So I just called him up one day. I go, hey, you mind if I come out, like just to hang out for a day and party? And he was like, I'm fucking here. Do it. So I just tagged it onto one of my trips, and I did like I've been doing like theater, not theater, but like a single club, then weekend, then single club. And I just canceled the single club, flew out to Doug's. Chaley picked me up at the airport, rolled in. Everyone's in the fun house drinking. Bingo's in there. It's fucking amazing. I think we podcasted for 6 hours.
Whoa.
Nonstop, unedited. I'm telling you when I say my opus of podcasting is just me and Doug talking shit about everybody. Just fucking tearing apart art, tearing apart good comedy, tearing apart life. His buddy Chad Shank's there. Chad Shank's hilarious. Doug's podcast is one of my favorite ones to listen to because it is a real, authentic extension of his personality.
Yeah.
The same way this is for you, that is what you do. When I first started listening to this podcast, I go, this is what Joe does. He gets online at the end of the night, smokes a joint, and just researches the most important shit, most crazy, insane shit. And now he's just telling us about it. Oh, this is fucking amazing. Oh, now he's bringing the people that he finds online. He's bringing them in and having a conversation with them. This is great. This is Doug. Just start drinking at 4 fucking vodkas with a bartender in his fun. Have you ever been out to his compound?
Nope.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
How far is it from the airport, the drive?
About an hour and a half. And Chaley's his tour manager.
How far would it be to drive from LA?
I think 6 hours.
6 to 8.
From here?
To
his place?
6 to 8, I think, yeah.
6 to 8.
That's not bad.
I typed in my address on accident and it gave me directions. It's 7 miles from the Mexico border. We roll in.
That's crazy.
And Doug is literally just, and man, it's like, Doug will say this, but like, he doesn't get to hang out with comics because he lives in the middle of nowhere. So when he rolled in, he was in his pajamas, never changed out of his pajamas, just smiling ear to ear and smoking a cigarette. And he's like, oh, what can I get you to drink? And literally, off the bat, we start podcasting.
Wow.
And just catching up. Oh, it's fucking, this is his fun house.
So what is the fun house? Why does he call it the fun house?
So I think he's got 4 houses on this property. He's got the main house. He's got maybe he has like 7, I don't know, but he's like, there's a bunch of like trailers around that people can live in. And then he's got a guest house that I stayed in. He's got another house that Shaley and his wife Tracy stay in. And
he just buys houses in the neighborhood?
They're like 35 grand.
What?
They're like 35 grand. He just keeps buying them when
You
they
can
pop
buy a
up.
house for 35 grand?
Oh, go to Detroit. You can
And
buy
he
them
just
for
keeps
$5.
buying. Yeah, but we're not talking about Detroit. We're talking about Bisbee. He buys them?
Just keeps buying them. And he's got corrugated like metal fence. Can't see over it. So it's all around.
35 grand.
Yeah.
Detroit, you can get it for like 500, right?
Yeah, but it's still Bisbee in the middle of nowhere. No one wants to move there.
No,
It should
hold
be
on.
Yeah,
cheaper.
but
Hold on.
that's where you're wrong.
Let me tell you something. I shot a vlog for this. Like, I've been doing my vlogs. Well, I bring my camera out to do my vlog.
I like how you say it because nobody else says it. Everybody else will write it, but they don't say it.
Oh, really?
I never heard anybody say vlog.
Am I saying it wrong?
No, you're saying it totally right.
Okay.
But it's something that people write. They write down, like
Yeah.
vlog for the day. But nobody says it.
Oh, I don't know what to
It's
call
like
it.
video blog.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear anybody say vlog?
Vlog, no.
No, Brian is as entrenched in
Calling
internet
it a vlog
culture.
this whole time.
I mean, it's probably the right thing to say. I've seen it written. I just never heard anybody say it
Yeah.
other than you.
I'm the
Well,
only
he's
person.
addicted to vlogs now, I found out. He just knows all of the YouTubers.
But I had Shaley bring me into Bisbee, and I shot B-roll of Bisbee. It's beautiful, really beautiful.
a cool town.
Right outside Tombstone, where the OK Corral is. Went to Tombstone, rolled in, and man, it ended. I have a vlog. I'll post it. I have to edit it.
There's a cave for sale out there.
Yeah, I met the 2 people that live in it.
It's a dope house, man.
I met the 2 people that live in it.
They're like Hobbit people.
Yeah.
They live in a Hobbit house. Like it's a cave.
Yeah, It was amazing, and I told Doug, I said, you need to have more people come out here and do this because it was so fun, man. It was so fun. Like we ended up just singing at the end, just partying and singing songs, and it was so fucking great. And yeah, and so that podcast right now, his girlfriend has gone AWOL, or his wife's gone AWOL. So
Bingo?
yeah,
She's got AWOL.
yeah. He's talked about it on his podcast, so I'm not
Is the
sharing.
cave house? Is this the cave house in Bisbee? Look at this.
Oh no, I didn't meet these people then.
Oh, hello. I'm Catherine Clark, and this is my home. Look at that gate. Oh. So it's dug into the side of the house.
Yeah.
Is this the same place? This is in Bisbee, Jamie? Yeah. Wow. Look at that. It's got a dope fucking little forest behind it and this waterfall and shit.
Yeah, that does not what Doug's compound looks like.
This is awesome. If I moved to Bisbee, I'd buy this fucking house.
I kept saying to myself, they've got a theater in there that
Dude.
Doug does.
This is nuts. Look at this. These people have oh my God.
Oh, that's
Look
gotta
at
be
the
so
inside
cold.
of this fucking house.
I wonder if
Cold?
it's like
Yeah,
dusty.
right?
Why cold?
'Cause you're in a
They're living
cave.
in Mexico.
I know, but it's cave, it's rock, it's
so
earth.
hot down there. It's the desert.
You
How
think
can it
that's
be
hot in there?
Cold. Yeah.
Oh, I think being in a cave would be cold no matter where you are.
Cooler, right?
Yeah.
But
be like
still, it's
basement.
140 degrees outside. It's not cool in there.
It might be if it's like a basement.
That
though.
house is fucking badass. I want to live there, man.
I bet you can get it for 125.
I bet you couldn't. I bet that house is at least $1 million.
1.5 million.
Is that what it says?
Yep.
Whoa.
By the way, I'm looking at 1.5 million these days. It doesn't look like that.
Yeah, right?
Ugh.
No, 1.5 million gets you in LA, gets you a regular house.
3-bedroom, 3-bath.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy when we were kids, you thought of someone who had $1 million as being like the most unbelievably rich, set for life, and then you hear someone's house cost $1 million, you're like, holy shit, $1 million.
Yeah.
And then you look at what $1 million buys you in LA, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
How about what it buys you in New York City? You ever look at that?
No.
Oh my God. The missus and I looked at fucking apartments in New York City at one point in time. Just on a whim, man. I just get these ideas in my head. Like, I don't want to live in the same place forever. I like to move around. And I'm thinking, maybe I should buy an apartment in New York. I'll just try living in New York for a few months. They're like $5 million for like a 1,600 square foot apartment. I was like, this is nuts.
I got
That's
back.
probably larger than that, but
I got back from Doug's and went right back with my wife and her best friend. Her husband's movie guy has got money, and they were like, "Let's get a compound." Like, I want a fucking compound.
where would you do it though?
I am being dead serious. I could totally do it in Bisbee.
But would you want to do it in Bisbee?
I wouldn't want to. I'd like
When
to
the
do
shit
it with
hits the
some.
fan. Do you want to be that close to Mexico?
I would like to do it maybe in like Montana, Alabama,
Yeah, Montana.
Georgia,
Montana. Now you're talking.
like
Colorado.
Colorado. Colorado. I slow rolled that one. Colorado would be tough, I think, because of the elements.
Oh, don't be a pussy.
It's all white people. What are you talking about?
What elements? You talking about black people? Remember that? Yeah. Remember that, Brian? In Atlanta, we were in Atlanta, and we were talking to this racist white girl, and she was like, "Well, you don't want to go to that club." I go, "Why?" She goes, "Well, you know the elements like to hang out there."
Yeah, that's right.
Holy shit.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck did you say?
The elements?
And we looked at each other. I go, the elements? Like, what does that even mean? But we both kind of knew what she was. I go, explain yourself. What are you saying? She's like, well, black people. You know,
Shut up.
the elements. The elements. Like fucking Earth, Wind, and Fire. The elements.
It's so weird when he said elements too. I'm like, wait a second. I can't believe you just said that.
Remember?
Yeah.
You remember that girl?
Flashback.
She was way out in the open with her racism. She's like, y'all are white. Come on.
Oh my God.
You know about the elements. Y'all don't want to be around the elements, especially when it gets dark out. You can't see it.
Go Trump. Did you watch that video? Yeah, Durf or what is he? The Daily Show video where it shows that none of you saw this.
No, keep going. But everybody's saying that word, drumpf.
Drumpf.
But I didn't know what it meant.
It's this guy it's not the Daily Show, but it's the other guy.
John Oliver?
John Oliver did a breakdown on Donald Trump the other day on his show, and it was one of the most beautiful things ever. It was so perfect. They found out that Trump's real name, like his great grandfather, changed it to Trump, but it was originally Drumpf or whatever, or Derp or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Drumpf's not bad. What's wrong with drumpf?
I'm Bert.
Fuck. Yeah. Who gives a fuck? I'm Joe. You know how many goddamn Joes there are?
Brian, man.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta say this.
Well, you say that, but you changed your fucking last name.
Well, my age.
Racist.
How dare you be
Reichel.
scared of your Nazi past?
No. But Brian, there's people my age. There's so many Brians because a Brian song came out the year I was born. So everyone named their kid Brian because that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Really? Is that what this
Is that,
lineage?
is that how
Yeah.
Trey Songz got his name?
Who's Trey Songz?
I don't know. It's a dumb joke that I thought only Brian would get.
Who's Trey Songz?
I got to say this real quick because Shaylee just emailed me. I think Doug and them are watching this. Hold on.
Douglas, me boy.
So some drama happened on this trip.
Oh,
So
so sad to hear this.
No, but Doug's talked about it, and they just released the second podcast dealing with this. I think they found Bingo. So
What?
So Bingo is Doug's wife, live-in wife. She was supposed to take me to the airport in the morning, and she was like, and Doug's like, don't worry, she'll get you up at like 8. She gets up at 6:30 in like combat boots and ready to roll. Here you go, someone. And get in the car with her. She drives me to the airport, and then like halfway through, she says, I'm running away. I was like, I'm fucking hungover as shit. I'm like, I don't know how to deal with this information. And now I'm like, do I ask dial Doug?
Is Doug running a cult?
No.
Why does she have to run away?
Yeah. Stockholm syndrome.
So Bingo started dating some guy that lives in the woods.
I heard about all this.
Yeah. And so
He's got an outhouse, 2 outhouses, one for his bird
his owls.
and one to shit in.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so she's like, don't tell Doug, don't tell Shaylee, don't tell anyone. I'm just disappearing.
And obviously you didn't abide by that.
Fuck no. I was called
Right.
Doug immediately. I woke him up. I was like, Bingo ran away. And so like it was pretty serious. I think. I mean, you know, with Doug, there's a joke. Like everything's lighthearted.
Well, did you ever listen to the podcast with him and her when she was talking about ending this experience called life?
Yeah, that's why I called Doug. 'Cause I was
Yeah, you
like,
gotta,
I was like,
right?
I can't let this. She's like, just don't tell Doug, don't tell anyone. I appreciate it. Gave me a big hug. Got it all on my vlog.
You got
Fuck
that
it.
on the vlog?
I'm not. Yeah,
She
I'm not
put-
fucking. I'm not. That
Right.
would never share anything like that. I got to sing a tearful goodbye because I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to end for Bingo because I know that she says that. So I called Doug immediately, wake him up, and I was like, Bingo ran away. He was like, what? He knew she ran away halfway through the ride because he's like, hey, you left your phone and you took blankets. And then she was like, because he called me on my phone, and she was like, yeah. I thought Bert wanted to sleep in the car. Halfway through, I'm like, oh, I could sleep in this fucking car. Like I should have gone to sleep. And then I look back and I see coolers and like all gear, like it's all packed, and my bags. And I'm like, fuck. So I called Doug, called Shaylee. So then Doug, I told some secrets maybe that I shouldn't have said to Doug, but one of the things Bingo says, she wanted this guy and Doug to kind of meet and figure out what she should do. So I was like, she wants you to podcast and do it. So
Whoa. She wanted Doug to podcast with her new boyfriend and figure out what she should do?
yeah. So
Some strong psych meds.
I tell Doug, and so literally he calls me like as my plane lands, and he's like, we're podcasting right now.
Oh my god.
So that podcast just got released yesterday, and I think Shaylee just texted me the new podcast where Bingo calls in, I guess. Just got released right now.
Are they trolling us?
Yeah, it
No,
might
they're
be a
not.
troll.
No, they're not.
It's
man.
probably just some
Dude,
in a hall somewhere.
I sat in the car with her, and man, there's so
my
many.
God.
It was intense, but you know, Doug takes everything with such a pace, such like a.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. I'll bring Bathtub Willie in, is what he calls him, and I'll do a podcast with Bathtub Willie.
Yeah.
And I tell Doug, I go, hey, just don't say that I said anything. Opening of the podcast is, so Kreischer calls me and tells me Bingo ran away. I'm like,
Oh my god.
so that.
It's so sad when you see someone who you, in your mind, like you have the memory of them being like real happy. Like when I think of Bingo, I think of Bingo hanging out with Doug at shows.
Yeah.
And it's always we're laughing. We're all laughing.
Yeah.
So that's my idea of Bingo. So my idea of a depressed Bingo, it doesn't make any sense. Like I don't have it in my accessible memory. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I've only seen her have a good time. I've only seen her having fun. And we all accept that there's like ups and downs to being a person. There's like highs and lows, and you know, you get in slumps and you feel like shit, and then you come back and you feel great. And that's one of the reasons why you appreciate those really high spots, because you remember when you didn't feel so good. But you see someone like Bingo, like when she was hanging around with Doug, and in my eyes, it was always like, you got to let Doug be Doug. You know, and Doug's always had a problem with, you know, when he was with other chicks, there was always like some sort of a different kind of drama than like what Bingo presented. Bingo presented crazy, but she also presented like this willingness to like have fun and go along with everything. And it was perfect for like letting the best parts of Doug just blossom because they were so cool together.
Yeah.
And she's crazy. She's got blue hair and half her head shaved, and she's a mad woman, right? So I was like, this is great. This is perfect. And it was always, in my eyes, all I remember is them smiling and laughing. So it's always weird to me. And even though rationally, obviously, I know that people have their ups and downs, when I remember someone who's like really happy and really laughing and, you know, like big open smile, ah ha ha, you know, throwing her head back laughing, that's like these are the thoughts that I have when I think about like her and Doug hanging out at shows. I think how does someone forget how to do that? Like how do you stay in that pocket? How do you stay as close to the fun all the time pocket as possible without slipping in? I mean, is it a chemical thing? Is it a behavioral thing? Is it a life circumstances and your reaction to it thing? What is it that brings those downers, man, where people just feel like utter shit?
Serotonin levels, and I guess she has, you know, issues. So like medicine, probably that she's taking, mixtures. Look at Brody; he has ups and downs all the time. It's and. I mean, I date so many people that I end up calling crazy almost to a point. It seems like it's, you know, I feel like calling a woman crazy in the future is going to be the next transgender.
Oh,
like it's
be.
Alternative thinking, you know. But I feel like I just nonstop, and it's just people's brains, man, and people just they have ups and downs. I had fucking ups and downs, you know. Everyone has.
There's so many factors too, right?
It's got to be chemical, man.
Well, there's chemical, and then there's life. There's like the curveballs life throws at you. Like they're undeniable that great moments in your life where things are going great, you fucking feel great. And then when things are going shitty, you feel shitty. And we kind of try to deny that there's some sort of a correlation between those two. But sometimes it's just shitty things happen. You know, like Ari Shaffir just broke his ankle skiing.
Yeah,
that's just a shitty thing that happens.
And
that's just it.
And I think we don't forget about him either. Like if you get in a relationship, you break up, you feel like you got over it, but that still is something in you that's taxing that you don't even know. You've actually taken down a couple levels of happiness, and then something else like your car. You get in a car accident that adds on to it, and you don't even realize that the ground that's what's the level of happiness is getting pushed down deeper and deeper almost.
It's true.
The thing about Bingo and Doug that really, like when you were saying, it's like, you know, that's a really like a nuclear family. Like they travel and they all stay in one room. Fucking 6 people stay in one room.
That's not a good move.
No, but that's like that's one of the beauties of Doug. I always look at other people as like always glass half full. That's the cool thing about Doug is that, you know, obviously Doug's shows are footing the bills for the tour manager, the manager, for their wives, their girlfriends, and it's like this real big family. And so what was really heartbreaking for me, because I hung out with them and I didn't know anything was wrong at all. I mean, I knew that they were going through this, but like we were all hanging out and Bingo was there and we were laughing and singing. I showed these guys the videos. I have them on my computer of I'm telling you, like St. Elmo's fire shit, like everyone holding arms, just literally having the greatest time of my life. And I leave. How aggressively fucked up was I at the end of that video?
Oh yeah, you couldn't even talk almost.
I could not speak.
St. Elmo's fire.
It was so great, and so my whole hope is that it's got to be meds, man. I mean, I spent an hour and a half in a car with her, more than that because we hit traffic, but it's meds.
It's just what is going on in your brain versus another person's brain. You can only speculate.
So wait,
I don't know how anybody else sees the world.
But how about, like, tell me what you think about this. Honestly, say you put, say it's, I'm trying to think of a scenario where I could say this: end of the world. We go to an island. It's like your wife and kids. Brian and some girl that he'll end up falling in love with. Jamie, a bunch of computers.
Lost too. like
it's lost too. But what you
How
got
come
the
Jamie gets a computer, everybody else gets girls?
we'll give him a rock that looks
why-
like a computer.
Give him a girl.
And why haven't I fallen in love yet? with
Because
this girl?
you're the
It's gonna
B
take
story.
Some time.
You're
It's,
Don McMoynihan. My point is, and there's no meds. There's no meds, right?
Okay.
But you got all your favorite people there,
Okay.
and there's no meds. And I'm saying, like, and do you believe that someone saying maybe that was on meds that been put in a perfect scenario? No apex predators on the island. It's just family, friends, coconuts. Everyone's feeling good. They're eating healthy.
Right.
Do you believe? Because I wonder sometimes. Do you believe then that all those problems that society slid in, where you now are on Prozac or whatever, do you think that they would be pulled away and that person would go like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm eating healthy. I got one job. It's just to go get coconuts in the morning. I get my coconuts. We all sit by the pool or by the.
I don't know, man. I think there's a real danger. When you hold your hand up, what does that say?
It's a Dominic
like
Moynihan
Lost.
joke.
Oh, lost. He was awesome in that.
Oh, dude, he was fucking amazing. Charlie.
There's a real danger in saying it's either or. You know.
Have you ever taken meds?
No, but I think for some people they're really important.
But do you feel like marijuana sometimes acts like a Zoloft for you?
No, but marijuana definitely gives you a more sensitive perspective, and it calms you down, and it makes you more connected to all the other people that you come in contact with. It definitely does that in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
you know. But it's not what's going on with people that are taking medication. The people that are taking medication like SSRIs, I have some friends that they started using them and it changed their life. You know, quite a few. And then both of them, not coincidentally, but after a while they weaned off of them. And their life got better, and they're both really smart guys. And when their life got better, then they weaned themselves off the psych meds and they stayed happy.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's got a different story too. And there's a real, not a danger, but I think it's a real prejudice that people do where they'll decide like it's one way or the other. Like it's either you don't need any medication, all you need to do is diet and exercise and run and you'll be fine. And then there's other people that think that it's a disease, the way to treat it is primarily through medication, and that's it. And your health and your your exercise routines and your diet really doesn't have any bearing on it because there's some sort of a neurological disorder. You have an issue with your brain. So there's people that are under like that school of thought. I think the real answer, if you talk to a lot of those neuroscientists, they'll tell you it's somewhere in the middle. It's like, who the fuck knows? Like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
So you might be completely batshit crazy and you need medication, dude. You're just fucking wired wrong. It's not happening in there. Someone needs to go in there and rewire shit. Or you might be a guy who could easily be healthy if you could get on a good roll. You know, if you could just get some momentum going and start, getting up in the morning, drinking warm water with lemon, getting on the fucking treadmill for a half an hour every morning. Put that treadmill in the garage, plug that fucker in every morning. Just do a fucking half an hour before you go to. Once you start getting on these rolls like that, you start feeling better.
There's a serotonin drip that happens.
Yeah, you start feeling better. You get more fit, you get more healthy, you feel better. When you feel better, your brain works better. Like, it's undeniable. So it's not necessarily one or the other. But we don't know. I don't know what's going on in your head. You don't know what's going on in my head. And I think that's where it gets weird when people are like, these psych meds aren't helping anybody. I think some of them might be helping some people.
Oh yeah.
I
mean,
think some people hit a bad spot, man. And I think the psych drugs can fucking pull them up, and then they can get accustomed to being on balance, and then they can get off of them.
I wish I knew more. They've always told me I should go on something for anxiety. You know, they're like, oh, to change your life.
It might.
I might.
The wonder about it is, would it dull what's awesome about your personality?
100%.
That's what everybody
I think
should be
crazy, man.
concerned.
I think fucking crazy.
Well, that's part of what makes you you.
Yeah.
And then it's not like you don't have a handle on it. It's just slippery. The handle's slippery.
Very fucking
But
slippery.
it's
It's
that-
covered in MCT oil.
It's that way for everyone who's trying to do anything creatively. You know, you can't be 100% relaxed. It's just not going to work that way.
Have you been to a therapist before?
I'm in therapy right now.
Holla.
It's best. My favorite moment was when he, because I have a lot of epiphanous moments. You know, like I have not cognitive,
Never
emotional.
said that word. I've been alive 48 years.
Really?
Never said epiphanous.
Epiphanous.
I have a lot of emotional epiphanous moments. Because I had a day where I jumped off the tallest stadium in the world, swam with great white sharks, and then rappelled up a 3,000-foot mountain. So like at the end of that day, you're sitting there going like, the fuck, man? Like what is going through my brain? Like I survived 3 times today when in deadly activities that I knew that were safe, and then it started happening that I started getting a very low threshold for epiphanous moments. Like things could just be like Stanhopes, man. I was firing hot. I was at the airport and I was just like, that was one of the greatest times I've ever had in my life. I wonder if it was the greatest time I had in my life, or if I'm just like so connected right now to whatever that is. They've got a theater there. I was going to say this. They got a theater there. I think Joey, Ari, and I are going to do it. 125 seats. Stanhope Presents. Just go down and spend
In Bisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I talked about that. I was like, that theater sounds like the perfect place to just bring in comics for a weekend.
Fuck yes.
Did you ever do the old Cobbs?
Yeah.
The old Cobbs that was like 150 seats?
No.
It might not even been that many seats. The old Cobbs was
Yes,
tiny.
I did. It was down by the wharf.
Yes.
Yeah, I did it when it was called the Green Room.
Oh, so you did it after it was Cobbs.
Yeah.
After Cobbs had moved to the new spot.
Yeah. That was a great fucking club, though.
Dude, it's crazy because Cobbs is like, the old Cobbs was literally like the perfect size club, but it was almost too small to make money. So like if you worked at Cobbs, you got paid less than if you worked at the Punchline, which is also a great room, right?
Oh, Punchline's fantastic.
But there was something about that Cobbs because it was so small. You would go there, it was like so packed in tight. I would make less money to work there, but look forward to it more.
It caught on fire, right?
Yeah, something happened, man. There was some sort of a fire.
Really?
And they moved to a new spot, and the new spot that they moved to is a giant-ass spot.
Yeah, that's hard to. That was always hard to fill for me.
Not if you're Doug Benson.
But the new spot is still awesome. It's really cool.
I like the new spot.
It's really cool, but it's weird. It's got a high ceiling, and it's got a balcony that's way in the back.
Well, when Doug sells tickets to that theater, and he's done stuff there, no one from Bisbee. He has to hold like 25 tickets for Bisbee residents. It's all people flying into Tucson and driving down to go see the show. That's pretty fucking legit.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, that is what I was like. I would come in a heartbeat. My initial idea of coming in was like, go in, do stand up in like near Bisbee, see if I can get Stanhope to look at my hour, tell me where I'm being lazy. And then he was like, just do it in my house.
Wow.
But like, I'd love those old small rooms are the best. Like, the Laughing Skull is a great fucking room.
Great fucking room. Tiny. It's like almost like just a little bigger than the belly room.
Yeah.
Those 100-seat rooms.
Dude, the belly room's fucking amazing. I never fucked around with the store ever up until like very recently. That fucking belly room is
amazing.
Why would you ever do the OR or the main room? I'll tell you how little I knew. The time I went up to do Ari's storytelling show, I didn't know which one was which. I literally had to go in and go, what is the belly room? That's how little I did the store. And they're like, and the guy didn't even know who I was, and it was like, and then Ari brought me up there. I mean, fucking perfect. Did what's his name's new material night? Jeremiah
Watkins?
Jeremiah Watkins' new material night. My brain's fucked. But like that
Jeremiah is a old schooly name.
It is, yeah.
Oh my God, I met his mom.
She must have been into the Bible just like you, Brian Song.
No.
So what, go ahead.
Thank you, Jamie. So, but like that belly room, I'm not a guy that goes out often during that. That convinced me to start getting out in the city. Ari called up and he's like, can you host my storytelling show? I'm like, done. That belly room's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's a weird place. It's a tucked away little tiny room at the store. We do weekends there sometimes, man.
Really?
Yeah. We do like a Friday night or Saturday night 10 o'clock show. It's just me and friends,
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
the whatever the big one is that I've done that one with you.
Yeah, the main room.
That's good it's good to kill and have.
Brian had a sick show there last night.
God, last night was insane.
Really?
Dave
So
Attell was
good.
the secret guest.
Yeah, Attell came by the Ice House last night too.
He's great. I love that guy. Ron
the
White,
best.
him. There's a few people that I see I
Yeah.
could just sit and hang out with. It's so great.
Yeah, they're just sweethearts. comedy sweethearts.
Have you seen Nikki Glazer's new show? It's actually really funny. I
Good?
liked it.
Yeah?
She hooked people up
You
to
know,
like.
McGuire's producing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chris McGuire's producing it.
So funny.
Or I believe he is. He was at one point in time. I'm sure. I hope he's still with it.
He
Chris is hilarious.
He's great.
He's a fucking hilarious writer. So funny.
She hooked up lie detectors to her friends and then asked them if they wanted to fuck her. And like these were real friends, and they were like, oh, good. Like you could see they were so nervous.
Well, that's normal though. I
funny
wonder
shit.
those things where they try to measure deception.
I almost said the shittiest joke.
What would be that?
So that's where Amy Schumer got that idea.
Oh, how dare you? That was. I'm glad you let that go. I'm glad you lobbed that out there.
I tried though. I was trying to watch Conan last night. I haven't seen Conan in over a year and a half, and I was like, is this show even still on? You can't find it on Hulu. You can't find it on Netflix. None of the shit. So
Still on TBS.
that's crazy.
Bill Burr's there once a month.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Bill
It's
Burr's
on
the reason I
TBS.
watch Conan.
No, I mean, like a lot of people have cut their cable, like including myself. I've had it for 2 years now, and you rely on like Hulu and stuff like that to watch everything.
It's
and
not on any of those things?
No,
Well, you would think they would make some sort of a deal.
no.
I watch Conan on. I've never watched Conan like live. I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of that for sure.
Bill Burr murders Conan.
Yeah. Well, Conan knows them, so they know what to do. Like he gives Burr these. Burr would just give these wide paths for Burr to rant.
I love Burr. Last night, Burr, he is one of my favorite new comics that I just got into within the last couple years. Like I could watch that guy forever. He's
one
brilliant.
of the best ever. He's one of the best ever. Right now, Bill Burr is one of the best ever. He's really good. He's really good. He's really tucked in. His comedy's real original. It's really him. It's authentic, very authentic. And he's saying some controversial shit, you know. And he's going out there, and it's interesting.
That's why even his cartoon is awesome because just
Oh, his
hearing him
cartoon's great.
fucking,
Dude,
I love
It's
it.
great.
Don't even get me started. So Bill and I texting back and forth. We're like, hey, we should hang out. Not podcast, hang out. It's one of the flaws I think I have is that I look at everything as work. Bill goes, no. If you want to hang out, we'll fucking hang out. I'm not going to podcast.
Yeah.
So we're great. So we have a cigar over at my place, cocktail, shoot the shit, have the sunset, go out and go to work. So the girls go, do you want to do something? I said, no, my buddy Bill's coming. It's the day Tom Segura's special comes out.
Yeah.
So I got Netflix up. I go, as a matter of fact, this is a cartoon. Girls, you like cartoons? Why don't you guys watch? This is my buddy Bill. He's coming over tonight. Let's take a look at it. First thing is like, these cocksucker motherfuckers. And Isla looks over and she's like, are we allowed to watch this? And I was like, fuck it. Your mom's not here. Let's watch it. So we watch the pilot, right? Leanne comes in and says, what are you guys watching? And I go, okay, it's got bad words in it, but it's not like sexual or anything. And so we show Leanne. Leanne says she sees an article on NPR that says kids being around cursing is okay. It's actually very healthy for them to hear cursing. It's when kids don't hear cursing that they believe the world is different. They believe the world's fucked up. So then, like, they live in this bubble, and then they do hear cursing, and it fucks them up in return. And so,
Whoa.
So yeah, and so Leanne's like, you know what? Let's watch it. So we watched
Wow,
it.
what an interesting concept, but totally makes sense.
Totally makes sense.
Did you hear cursing when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's just these new age. I'm gonna say Christian. I believe in God, but like whatever. Like cursing is not around children.
But you think it's a new age Christian thing?
I didn't know
cursing
one
thing?
parent when I was a kid that didn't curse, didn't drink, smoke in front of their kids, and curse. But that was my whole life. But I grew up in the South.
Well, I guess it's trying to preserve the innocence of the kids. Is that what it is?
I guess.
Yeah, but they're just words, right?
It's
Why
just
shouldn't
words.
the kids be able to say that right away? What do we give a fuck? Why do we have to behave different than the kids do?
It teaches them boundaries. It says, this is what dad can do. You can't do that.
Right.
When you become a certain age, you can earn that and you can do it. But go ahead.
Yeah, but what if like a kid says like pussy hole? That you don't want kids saying pussy holes, you know?
Brian, they'd have to live in your house to hear pussy hole. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
they could come up with it on their own. It's not like pussy hole is from a single origin.
Right.
How many different people all over the world said pussy hole in 100 different languages?
so
None of them aware that somebody in Greece had already claimed that nomenclature.
But So we ended up watching it, and then Bill came over, and Bill's like, and we were at episode 3. He's like, you haven't let him see episode 4 yet, have you? I go, no. He goes, God, don't let them fucking see it. But what's so crazy is like we're sitting in the kitchen, and my daughter walks in. She didn't give a shit about celebrity. That doesn't mean anything. But she heard Bill's voice and went, like, it was like creepy. And I was like, yo, Georgia, this is the guy you've been listening to all day. This is the dad from that show. She was like she couldn't wrap her head around the fact that she was hearing the cartoon guy's voice.
Wow.
I thought that was cool. But that show is F is for Family, is it? And it's so fucking funny.
It's really good.
I want a cartoon so bad.
Well, why don't you make one?
Yeah.
You can.
I need that.
Oh, Stanhope's calling.
Put him on speaker.
Stanhope, you're on Rogan's podcast. You're on speaker.
I know, yeah. There's a slight delay. We're watching it live, and I go, watch Kreischer's face, see if he notices his fucking phone vibrating in his pocket. There's a delay. Kill the volume. Or pause it. Can you pause it?
Can we pause the show?
No. He's talking to Jay.
Just all stand still.
Oh.
Stand still, guys.
All right, we gotta pause. I texted Rogan a picture of you in the fun house. You there?
Yeah. I just got it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Is this me hammered?
Yeah. I just texted a picture of us
Oh,
watching
shit.
you in the fun house.
What's going on?
Oh, yeah, we came in late. Chad Shank said he's been watching it since the beginning. He goes, they mentioned my name.
He can't hear us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, you can.
It's on speaker.
I
Yeah.
hear. It's
Can
on
he
speaker,
hear us?
but here,
No.
go ahead.
Do you hear us, Doug?
It's on speakerphone. He should be able to hear us using speakerphone.
Yeah. Oh, he's watching. Oh, yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, no, we paused you.
Yeah, but
I'm trying
you're
too
the
fucked
only
up
one
to
that
figure
can
this out,
talk to
Joe.
him.
Here,
See-
here, talk to Joe. Did you just do it?
Well, I'm just saying you're the only one who could talk to him. Douglas,
Yes, sir.
we have a shitty way of communicating here. We got to figure out a better way to do this. Because you can only hear us when we're like really close to this phone. You're not wired into anything, so we have to pass the phone around for you to hear us. Unless you're like,
The speakerphone works pretty well.
I was just trying to fuck with Kreischer, thinking he'd probably forget to turn his phone off for the podcast.
Done, Doug.
no, nobody ever turns it off. They turn it over. We're too addicted to turn it off. Nobody turns shit off. It's too. You never know. Someone might get in contact with you. What the fuck's going on in the desert, son?
We did day 2 of Bingo's disappearance. I don't know if Bert talked about that early.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Day 2, at the end of it, she calls and reveals her location.
Whoa.
So, yeah, well, it ain't over. There still has to be the what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be him or is it gonna be me?
Whoa. No gunfight. Don't do that.
No.
No
The guy and
duels.
I are cool.
So you and the guy are cool.
Go ahead.
So you're hopeful that it's all gonna work out?
It'll work out one way or the other. I just hope it works out in my favor.
Well, we agree.
All right, well, go back to your podcast.
We're gonna
I
go
just
back
need
to the
fuck it up.
podcast. All right, brother. Have fun out there.
I love you. I'll talk to you
I love
soon.
you too, buddy. See ya.
Get a room, you guys.
Hey, everyone check. It's Doug Stanhope.
Don't be scared to tell your friends you love them. Everybody
I
out
said
there.
I love you to Doug when I said goodbye.
I
like
say
how-
I love you to everybody.
I like how Doug sold his podcast. Like, and coming up at the very end, we find out what Bingo did and where she is. You can check it out on iTunes.
Dude, his podcast is so fucking good. Did you heard the one I laid in bed one night on the road and I just was like, oh, listen to Stanhope and Chad and Chaley and Brian Hennigan sounds like fucking Nanny McPhee. Just
I love Brian. He's a smart dude. I like
a smart
talking
dude.
to that guy.
I listened one night and I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed, and it's like the Doug and Bingo break up episode. I was like, oh, I'm making a pot of tea. Guess I'll be listening to this all night.
Esther Koo, did you know this? This is 100% true. I found this out the other day. Esther Koo, on the end of every single one of her podcasts, masturbates and just records herself masturbating while she's doing her tour dates and stuff like that. And it's legit because you could hear and stuff like that. Like, it's on my episode that I was on, she masturbated and came 17 times at the end of the podcast. No joke.
So while you were podcasting with her, she was playing with herself?
No, what she does is like she records the podcast and then after I leave, then she masturbates and goes, well, that was a lot of fun, and then she comes really fast because she can make herself come so really fast. Like she's a sex addict. She's a sex addict.
Jeez, I guess so.
Did you hear the episode she did it on Opie and Jim?
No.
It's pretty good at radio. She's like, yeah, I can make my self come in 20 seconds. And they're like, Jim's like, oh, I'd like to see that. So she goes in the little booth, I think, where all the producers are, E-Rock is, and just masturbates on mic. And you can
she
hear
let
her.
Jimmy see it?
No, she goes into the box so no one can see her.
Oh.
But she did it. And I had heard about this end of the podcast.
Good for her.
I had heard about this end of the podcast before, and I asked her about it. She told me about it. She left my house. She did my podcast the other day. She left my house, and I was like, I'm just going to hear it for myself. It is legit. Not only by that, but she gets done having an orgasm and then just says, okay, Columbus, Ohio, I'll be there the 22nd and the 23rd. And it starts again. And then it'll stop and then go, okay, you remember how last week I said I lost my retainer? Well, I found it. And then she'll start again.
Oh, my God.
It really is just to go get that, subscribe, but just cut to the very end.
I didn't know about it, and then when I found out, I just was like, hey, let's watch porn and podcast. So she came to my podcast. We just watched porn, but it didn't work. She didn't get it. I tried. I gotta get behind Brian's back on this one. It's a pretty legit podcasting episode. At the end of every one, it's like 20 times, and then by the end, it's like you're getting tired.
How crazy is that?
It makes me horny though immediately.
It made me horny too.
I totally had to masturbate and look up Asian chicks.
How many people are jerking off listening to this podcast right now? There's a
Ours?
number.
Definitely.
There's a number.
Yeah.
Right now.
We should do
How many you guys, like, as soon as we started talking or you guys started explaining how she masturbates that much, how many dudes whip their dick out?
Oh, totally.
How many people went right to Esther Koo's Koo in the Gang?
Yeah.
And just went to go to the Anthony Cumia one, go right to the end, last 10 minutes.
What? Go to mine. I'm here.
Oh, go to Brian's.
Yeah, he's right here.
What Red
That's
Band
fucking
do?
rude.
Yeah, how dare you?
He just never invited me to be on it. And I just
And
he's
she's just always doing that?
Do you want to
She does
just hear
that-
it?
No.
It's Joe. It's pretty good.
No.
Joe, let me pull it up for you.
Please. It is.
Joe, let me pull it up for you. It's really funny.
It is
I
the
can't believe that Bert Kreischer is doing this against my will. If it was up to me, I would not listen, for I find this offensive.
Esther Koo in the Gang. It's like the first one on my thing.
so good.
It's the one she does with Anthony Cumia. Is actually a really good podcast, but you just go right to the end. I was already listening to it.
Okay.
This week. Holy shit. Oh, God, right. Oh, my God. Oh, yes. Please, just. Oh, God. I'm going to be in Vegas this week. Joey Coco Diaz.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
She just goes right into her dates.
The 20th, Friday and Saturday at the South Point Casino. Come out.
Oh, my God.
Joe, and by the way, she's got 12 minutes left of that.
Yeah.
What a good kid.
It is. But the best is when her going, I'm going to be in Vegas.
What a good kid.
Oh.
I got that from my friend Jimmy DiTilio when we were in high school.
What a good kid.
When a girl would be like a total pig, he'd go, "What a good kid." I've always said that.
weird.
I've always said that.
Oh.
That's like one of the funniest things to say when a girl like does something incredibly ridiculous, over the top, like that. What a good kid.
Esther Koo is a good kid.
She is.
What a crazy girl.
She sleeps at the spas, like the
Yeah.
Korean spas. Like she just goes there and like lays on the floor all night.
Is that where she lives?
No, just when she's in town. When she came to
She just
LA
comes
last week,
and goes to those things.
spas.
She's a
feel
deep
like-
person too.
She's a very smart girl.
Very
She's
smart.
a very unusual person. Like, you talk to her, you get a different sort of personality, you know. But those like spas, those Korean spas, that's the one thing that I'm really worried that we're gonna lose in this sort of homogenization of the world. Like real ethnic shit like that. Where
Never,
it's like
man.
a Korean spa where it's like old world. Like, everybody's taking their clothes off. You're all going to go through this crazy spa thing, or the Russians, where they do the banya. Have you ever seen that shit?
I've done it, bro.
They're like, oh, you have done it, right?
Yeah, I've done it.
What is that like? And then they go hot and cold. They go back and forth, right?
It's old school. It makes you wonder. It makes you really like separate what we called gay as a kid versus what was gay in the fucking 1930s.
Yeah,
like,
that looks gay on paper.
and dude, you're naked. He lays you on a fucking slab like you're at a morgue. Just starts washing your body. Takes birch bees.
Oh,
beats
easy.
totally naked. And
The
he's
guy
just
washes your ball sack.
Never.
leg up, leg
Hold
up,
on.
leg up.
Hold on. The guy washes you,
Washes your body.
your asshole.
I'm almost certain he got my asshole. Almost certain he got my asshole.
So with his hands, gloves or no
Nope.
gloves?
I think he's got. I want to say he has birch branches, or he's got
birch,
or birch. It's birch leaves. That's what they beat you with.
and he's holding your asshole up with that.
He literally leg up. He gets on top of you. He cracks your back. Like it's fully. There's a place in New York, man. If you next time you're in New
Is he
York,
wearing clothes?
he's not. He's not. And he had herpes sores on his mouth.
Oh my god!
But then he just immediately was like, okay, get in bath. And then you just go get in like a ice cold bath. Coldest water I've ever been in. Hop in, like prickling on your feet. And then they get out. They put you in a room that's like, oh, I'm going to ballpark. And I know this sounds make-believe, but like at like 200 degrees. It was the hottest room I've ever been in my life.
Oh my god!
Like it's not a sauna. It hurts your eyes and it hurts to breathe. You stand there for like 5 minutes. Then they come out. They wash you, they dunk you, they put you back in, and it's all about cleaning out your impurities. I got to be honest with you, man. I walked out of that place feeling clean as fuck, a little violated, but clean as fuck.
Wow.
He was in a towel. That's all he had on was a towel.
Oh, well, why does it have to be a guy?
It's
Because
got to be strong, probably.
there's a
Lift
place.
your legs up. What if you're a big giant dude?
I'll tell you the name of the place. So if people want to go, I follow them on Twitter. It is old school Russian. I know a little Russian, so I tried to talk to them when I got in there. And they were like, okay. And now that we became friends because of that.
Yeah, they also like, if you wouldn't want a woman in that position of washing a man like that.
No. I in San Diego, there's this massage parlor where they clean you first, and she like was lifting my legs up, cleaning my asshole, jacking me off, and then we
But
went.
see, that's
Jacking me off.
But here, you see what I'm saying? Like, a girl would kind of be forced into that sort of an environment if she had to wash guys' assholes. Like, there's gonna be a certain amount of guys that want more than you to just wash their dick and wash their asshole. Yeah, keep washing that spot.
It felt good though, having somebody wash you like because I laid there and she washed me for like 20 minutes, and it felt like, oh my god, I'm a baby again. Kind of, it was like this weird feeling I hadn't felt in a while.
What I'm thinking is that, like, having the girl removed from the equation takes out the sex aspect of it. That's why it's okay that the dude does it. Because if the sex aspect of it is there, like, there's just a certain percentage of guys that are going to try to fuck that girl. And so her job's like hazardous. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to fuck every other guy you wash all day and you're grabbing their legs and washing their balls and assholes, how many dudes are going to try to fuck you? It's like, could you imagine that kind of a work environment where, like, you... Or, like, imagine if your job was being at the counter at Chipotle, and you were the guy who says, "What can I get you?" You were the first guy on the whole chain of command. I'll have one of them steak bowls. All right, dude. Want white rice or brown rice? What if you're that guy, right?
Wait, what's going on here?
What are you talking about? All I'm thinking about is a burrito.
I know.
I was like, yeah, I need a lot of them.
I completely lost my train of thought as soon as you started laughing. Oh my god. What was I saying before that?
We were talking about women washing your balls.
And
Oh my God! Forget what I said.
I'll tell you my theory. This may sound racist, but I'll say it out loud anyway. I had a massage from a lady in Omaha who was black, and it was the best massage I ever got. And the reason I thought was she's not attracted to me at all.
I remember what I was gonna say. What if you went to Chipotle? What if you worked at Chipotle? You were the first guy on the line.
Right.
You were the first guy on the line, and you were the one who asked if you want a steak bowl. And 8 out of 10 people wanted to fuck you. 8 out of 10 people tried to fuck you while you were at work. Like, can you imagine that kind of pressure of like having a job like that?
Or how much
That's
I'd
what it
enjoy
would be
work.
like. if it was a girl who was washing your asshole and your dick, 8 out of 10 guys are
I
gonna
see
try
what
to
you're
fuck her.
saying.
So it's a ridiculous job hazard.
Yeah.
Like if you had any other job, here's a better example. If you were a guy who changes tires at the local gas station,
Yeah.
but everybody kept trying to fuck you, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, I'm tired of working here.
Yeah.
I just want to change your tire. That's all I want to do. Well, if you have a guy in a loincloth and that guy's washing your balls and your asshole, maybe it removes any threat of sex.
It is. It happens
Big,
quickly.
giant Russian dude.
You don't get hard. It happens quickly. And I just tweeted it out, guys. If you want to find it, it's Russian Baths, New York. Chad Shank just retweeted me, but it's Russian Baths, New York, and NY. And I'm telling you when I say this, and this is I agree 100% what you're saying. I don't think they're going to disappear because in our country we respect. I'm going to say minorities, but we respect minorities not wanting to be a part, like wanting to have their own thing. We just don't respect it with white people. So for forever, we're going to allow Russians and Koreans and Japanese and Asians to have their own little secret, separate towns where like you can't do their shit because we go as America, we're oversensitive. We go no. We got that. If you want to be a part of our clubs, you can do that. We don't even give a fuck about your clubs, and because no one's ever going. There's karaoke spots. I don't know if you've ever been in Koreatown.
Yeah.
That are fucking amazing. You get a private room with private, like literally your own screen and your own video where you and a bunch of families could go in and do your own karaoke, and it's so much fucking fun. I've done it in Japan, and it's a blast. But you can't go if you're white in America.
What?
They won't let you in, man. And if they let you in, they treat you like shit until you leave. But in America, well, we're totally going to allow that. We're going to allow that forever. It would be racist for us not to allow that. For us to say, how dare you, you need to let whites in. They just shut it down. They'd find another place to do it, and they wouldn't tell us about it. I'm telling you when I say this, these
Well,
karaoke...
I just wish that wasn't the case. Like, I like the fact that those places exist and that it's like their culture, but why not let other people go visit your culture? Like, why get mad? Why want to kick white people out?
Dare I say it's natural?
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean-
dare you say? How dare you?
I picked that up from you. You say how dare you. But listen, think about it. We didn't want black people to be in our country clubs or Jews.
Yeah.
I'm not saying me personally, but I'm saying my people. But it was forced on them. However, in Korean spas, they don't want white women just walking in and just getting undressed with tattoos. They'd fucking kick you out.
But a lot of Korean spas let white women in.
Not with tattoos.
What?
Dude, Margaret Cho has a whole chunk. I've heard her talk about it.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's shameful. Like-
I know that's the way in Japan, because they have those like things you put over your arms.
They
like
wouldn't
those
let me
sleeves.
work out at the
Yeah.
gym
See?
unless I had long sleeve shirts
That's right.
on.
So my point is, and I'm saying this for conversation's
Right.
sake. I'm not saying it as a point of view, but is it natural? I mean, look at black churches. You walk in as a white guy, a lot of times everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" You go into an all black and you just go in, "I just want to praise God with you guys." Then they're like, "Okay, I mean, I guess we have to let you in. We can't kick you out." So I think what you're saying, like you go to these Russian bass plays, you walk in as a white guy, they like not speaking Russian, and they're literally like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Is that natural?
It exists so often, it would be a hard argument to say it isn't natural because there's so many versions of it.
So many.
Yeah, it's not that it's the right choice or that it's ultimately the way people are going to think and behave, but to have it exist and to have it be natural, I mean, it's obviously natural. It's so common.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so common, if nationalism and racism, like on that level, wasn't so common, it's more of a nationalism even than it is a racism. Like there's some countries that are like fiercely loyal to their country. They don't want anybody else in. They don't want to deal with you.
Australia was like that for a long time.
Was it really?
Yeah, you could, Asians couldn't immigrate. I only know this. I wrote a paper in high school or college, but Asians, they wouldn't allow Asians in. It's changed. I'm not saying Australia's like that now, but then the second question is, okay, so we've said that it's natural. Then what is the difference? Like I personally don't want those Russian baths and those Korean spas. I don't want anyone to not have their own shit. If you want to have it in this country, you should have it. I totally agree. Now, there's personally nothing I've ever grown up with in my life that I have that is just white male, you know? So I've never really had that experience.
Right.
Although as a child, I would go into the country clubs and you'd see just old white men playing thing. But like, so I don't think it'll go away. But then my question is, why do these liberals take away everything that is
Fucking liberals.
take away one thing,
Man.
but then the stuff like the Korean spa or the karaoke place or the Russian baths, why don't they go in and protest them?
Well, because the idea is that these small communities, they retain a bit of their homeland, a bit of their past, a bit of their culture in these areas. And if you are a progressive person, the idea is that you're supposed to allow that kind of thinking because it preserves this unique culture.
I agree.
That's kind of delicate. And it is delicate because the kids that are assimilating into our culture, the children of their children that are assimilating into these cities, like if they're like first and second generation immigrants, you know, they eventually become Americanized. And these cool things like the Russian bathhouses or the Korean bathhouse, the banyas, and there's a bunch of them, right? Aren't there a bunch of different like cool ethnic
dude, that
little
would be a
things
show.
that people do?
That would be a show. I'd watch that on Viceland or
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Travel Channel.
It's kind of interesting, right? It's interesting to see all the different ways that people do things. And if we start putting Targets and Kmarts all across the world, and that becomes everything, and we all learn each other's language, and everything slides into one set of rules for the whole planet, like,
Yeah.
it probably won't be as fun.
I mean, I never really had a culture, so to speak, because we were transplants from the north into Florida. So, like, I never was Southern 'cause my parents were from New York and Philly. Like, I never felt Southern, so I never, like, got attached to the...
Were you born in Florida?
I was born in Florida, but my parents were very liberal, and so we didn't grow up saying the N-word. We didn't have a rebel flag in front of our yard. So I don't have any, like... So I always say this out loud. I never have any civic pride, nor do I have any culture other than, like, Irish. I grew up, like, Irish was the thing.
Right.
So I would never want to lose the authenticity of Koreatown or Chinatown or even the exclusiveness. Like going to a Korean restaurant, one of my buddies is Roy Choi. I haven't talked to him in forever, but we used to live next. He did. He's the chef. I think you've had him on the podcast. And he took us. He did. He does the Kogi taco truck. He's
I
good.
had him on the podcast?
Yeah.
No.
No, you did 100% sure.
You thinking of Eddie Huang?
Nope. He came in with Eddie Wong, but Roy Choi is a very famous chef. One of the most famous chefs in LA right now.
What episode was this?
Type in Roy Choi, Joe Rogan. I promise you because I watched it.
Okay.
And I was like,
So he was with Eddie?
yeah.
No?
No, he was. No, I'm 100% certain.
Well, I bet.
Fight.
I bet Google's right.
Nope, I'm 100% certain.
Eddie Wong came in one time with the guy that was in that movie, The Interview.
I'm going to go to the mats on this one,
I'm looking at it right now. I just Googled it. And
and you're wrong. So,
Don't
okay,
lie.
guys, if you're
Bert's going
listening
to be
live,
racist.
Bert Kreischer is going deep, and he's taking chances
how dare you
with his
challenge me?
predictions. He's challenging
Roy.
young Jamie on the air. Boy,
Roy Choi,
I think we got a little too high before this show.
Joe
I'm
Rogan,
gonna be honest with you. We got a little ridiculous.
Roy Choi. Did I misspell it? Roy Choi, Joe Rogan Experience with Brian Stan.
What?
What?
No, that's definitely not true.
Oh, it says Roy Choi. I promise you.
Well, Brian Stan was definitely by himself,
Can
right?
Can
Yeah.
someone please just tweet the fucking answer to me? Because I promise you I saw it. I would very
Probably should make these people do the work when you're not doing the
because
work.
I'm not too I'm too fucked to do that.
Oh, okay.
But I promise you he was on
That's
in here
how
one
high I
time.
am. I know he's wrong, but I'm like, God damn, is he right?
Roy Choi, fucking Jamie. The Roy Choi created the taco truck craze.
Okay.
He's good friends with Anthony Bourdain, and sorry,
Sorry.
maybe you're spelling it wrong, racist.
Whoa. How
Yep.
dare you? How dare
So-
you cast upon him a moniker that cannot be shaken?
So anyway,
Damn.
I don't even know where I was going with this point. Do we have any more
Racist.
wine?
Oh,
We have,
it's getting hot in here.
All sorts of different types of alcohol, but we're probably out of wine. Are
Well,
we out of
let's-
wine, young Jamie? Jamie's gonna find out.
But I don't know where my point with this is going. Oh, he took me and my wife to to Koreatown to go eat Korean barbecue because he
Okay.
wanted to teach us real Korean barbecue, like what they eat, not the kind that we believe it is.
Right.
And it was interesting. We went in there and no one spoke. No one. There were not only were there any white people, no one spoke English that worked there. And so we actually were complete and total tourists in our own town, and just sat and watched him order, and he just was like, "Don't worry," and it was a really fascinating experience. Would I want that place to ever go away? Never in a million
fucking years. I want those places to last as long
shit.
as son of a bitch.
Champagne. Motherfucker brought out
Damn,
champagne.
somebody
Damn.
fancy.
God damn. Is this because you're wrong?
Did a motherfucker have a birthday?
It's, but like I believe in that. But then again, on the same liberal side of the fence, because maybe I'm a libertarian or whatever I am. I'm a liberal. I'm a conservative liberal.
You're a conservative liberal?
Yeah.
What are you liberal about? Like gay rights?
Every
and-
rights, all rights, all human rights, all female, gay rights, transgender, you name it. I don't want you to feel like shit if I can help that. That's my job as a comic. My only goal is to make people laugh. Why would I ever want anyone to feel bad about their day? That's not my MO.
Beautiful. And what are you conservative about?
Like blacks. No, I'm kidding. No, the right to tell that joke to you.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm conservative about.
Well, is that conservative anymore?
Yes, it is.
Is
Because
it still conservative? Is it conservative value to be able to express yourself in a way that'd be offensive? Did you see that that recent ruling? Young Jamie, pull this up. 'Cause it's kind of interesting. The court ruled against this idea that there should be laws against.
calm down,
Bert
Brian.
is
I'm
about to release the Kraken. He's going to open this cork. And Brian is terrified.
I'll burp it.
Like he's never been to the gun range.
No, I've
Brian.
had one of those hit me in the eye before.
Oh, there you go,
You are
Brian.
partying with the wrong people, son. I
my-
want you to
my
mix
mom.
it into that wine and make a fine rosé,
Like this?
a Zinfandel or some shit. A wine cooler.
Oh, look at
man.
that bad bitch.
That's like a watermelon lime cooler.
Bartles
way-
and James.
Bartles and James. Yeah.
Peach.
Strawberry, right?
Peach and strawberry. I'm not drinking.
I'll double it up, motherfucker.
I can't drink during the day. It
I'll
doesn't-
take one of the gin. Hey,
Whoa.
listen.
Okay.
What?
I'm fucking hammered right now.
Yeah, we're all hammered. We're all stoned, too.
You just said you went take it on the chin after giving a
No.
story about a man massaging
That's
you.
not what he meant, bro.
I'm really
It was a
let
long
down on
time
the
ago.
internet not backing me up with this Roy Choi thing, and I started to think
It looks-
Jamie's right.
It looks like you're
Well,
right.
I'm pretty sure he's
Wait.
right.
He's not right.
He's right almost all the time. Is that racist?
It might be.
Is that racist? It's just a gong. Can we get away with the gong before anybody gets mad?
David Cho? Is that who you're thinking of?
No, it's Roy Choi. I want to fucking call
my
him.
God.
There's nothing.
This is
No.
Roy Choi. He
Sorry,
was in
son.
here.
Sorry, son.
I'm looking at all the Eddie Wong episodes.
Especially if he was
sweetie.
in here. He wasn't in here.
Sweetie, it's okay.
Jamie.
I'm sorry. I mean, this is the only place I've worked here. Was in this
Yeah.
building, and I pretty much remember every single one.
It would have to be super old school, like to the point where I don't remember it anymore.
Last time you were on the show, we drove home together, or the time before, and you talked about your friend. So it must have been within the last 3 months then.
I only know this because he's
You
done
have a
Bourdain.
tumor.
He's done
You have a
Bourdain.
brain tumor. Something's going on. In your
He's tell me I'm sorry.
yeah.
Are you dehydrated?
He's done Bourdain's show and he's done your podcast and he do neither for me. So I remember going like at Bourdain, I get it. Why wouldn't you go on with Bourdain, one of the greatest people on television for chefs? But I was like, podcast wise, I was like, and I get why you do Joe, but like, throw me a bone, Roy. Like he's a good guy. He's a great guy. But his, I don't want to get removed from the podcast.
Eddie Huang.
And Shane Smith, I
Shane
guarantee.
Smith. Maybe you're
Well, hold on.
confusing
No.
your-
Go to the video. Go to
your
the video
Asian people,
and see if
you
there's
son
another
of a
Asian guy. Was there
bitch.
another Asian guy in here with them?
No, you son of a
I told you the one
bitch.
time there was, it was.
It was the dude from
Randall Park.
I
Randall
love that
Park.
dude. That dude's
from,
great.
He was from that show. The show off. Was it
The
off the
interview.
boat?
He played the guy
Off the
from
boat.
North Korea.
What was it? Off the boat?
Yeah, and he's on
Fresh
a
off
TV show.
out
Fresh
of the
off
crate.
boat.
Fresh off the boat.
Okay, I will spend. I know what I'm doing tonight.
It's no big deal, dude. You can be wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Don't attach your whole life to this. It's just too hard to win at everything in life. You gotta some certain losses. They're gonna come your way, and you gotta regroup, and you gotta pick up the paces. Paces. Pick up the pieces and move on with your life, Bert Kreischer.
I am
You're
a bigger
beautiful
fan
person.
of your podcast than you are of your
You're a
podcast.
beautiful person.
I watch all of them.
Joe
How
Rogan.
could you ever say that?
The Joe Rogan
Doesn't make
forum's
any
not
sense.
saying anything either. So
Yeah.
David Cho found it.
I don't even think anybody named Roy has been on the podcast.
He came on with David Cho.
Yep.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he is. He's
Maybe
right here.
By himself.
David has been on a few times. Maybe he came to one of the Ice House Chronicles. Was it an Ice House Chronicle?
Nope. I'm going through this.
Was
whole
it on
fucking
David's
thing.
show? I did David's show once.
If
I
he
bet
was,
that's
if
it.
it was 592 with David Cho, it was the one episode I wasn't here.
Oh shit!
But
Could have been the one
I don't
episode
think-
where Jamie wasn't
He was on
here.
563. That can't be that.
Dum 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 dum. What?
You sure it wasn't David Cho's podcast that when Joe Rogan was on that podcast?
No.
Could have been.
I think makes more sense.
Number 592.
I have
This
a
is
hard time
this is
believing-
horrible podcasting.
No, it's not. I have a hard time believing we've actually done 750 podcasts.
I was on 592.
769.
769. 69, bro.
You've done 769 podcasts?
Indeed. Preposterous.
It's great, man. I like what you
Ridiculous.
did, and I don't know. I think I maybe told you this one night. Fucked up. I'm very I'm envious in the sense that what you've done, and only that I could not do it. Begin it now. What you did is you kind of took the Renaissance to yourself, and you allowed people that think differently than you to come to you and talk to you, and you got to kind of like soak in their information like a sponge. As a stand-up man, that is like, that's what we all should be doing instead of just sitting around and going, what does this guy think about airplanes? What is it? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You really kind of broaden the spectrum of what you want to talk about on stage. And I remember hearing Chris Rock say that he got invited to Cornell Wallace's house for Sunday dinners. And right before he did his most monumental hour. And he was like, it was really cool. I didn't say anything. I just would sit and listen to all these great
Cornell Wallace or West?
Cornell West. My bad.
Hey, Bert, Roy Choi was an episode of Getting Dug with High with Horatio Sands.
Horatio and me have often been confused. Racist!
There's no way. Am I thinking of Getting Dug with High?
Yes, you are.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yo, it happens. Let it go.
Okay.
Just
I
embrace
can't.
the loss. Take it on the chin. Move forward. Soldier on, sir. It's no big deal. Bert won't admit it. Look at him. Very competitive. Very competitive.
Yeah, it's Getting Dug with High.
You know, you realize Doug's competitive. Or Bert's competitive.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not competitive at all.
Oh,
I'm
you're
the opposite of competitive.
No, you're not.
No, I'll let you walk all over me before I
Motherfucker.
try to beat you.
No.
100%.
I shot skeet shoot with Bert. He's very competitive. Don't let him lie to you. When he plays pool, very competitive. You're a secretly competitive guy. You don't want people to know you're competitive because competitive people are aggressive, and aggressive people make people uncomfortable, and uncomfortable people are assholes, right?
Fuck.
Yeah, so you're
Save that file and make it my ringtone.
Secretly competitive. People who are openly competitive are also open to a lot of criticism. So you're secretly competitive.
Blocked a motherfucker today.
He's really good at skeet. He's good at shooting those clay pigeons. Way better than me.
Yeah, he
Kick-
cheats on his Fitbit too because he knows that our accounts are connected. So he just like sits it, like goes like this real fast for the
Just
steps.
to fuck with you.
No, I put up my dog.
Put it on your dog's dick and give him a stuffed animal. I had a buddy of mine in high school, and he had this fucking dog. There's the most ornery little dog, like a little poodle, little type fucking thing. And this thing would fuck stuffed animals. And it had a stuffed animal that it was his girlfriend. And he would bite this stuffed animal in the neck and drag it around, and he would just fuck it.
It's weird when girl animals still hump.
This
Because
is a buddy of mine, Joe Spagnoli.
did you know that girl animals still hump because it's still in their DNA? It has nothing to do about like sex.
What do you mean?
It's supposed to be like dominate. Like I'm dominating this other thing. It's not-
like a girl will get on top of a dog and like
Right,
hump them.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally, man. They do that to dominate them. That's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
They mimic fucking to dominate. A female will do that.
It's funny, my wife withholds it to dominate.
That's what they do. That's what they do. God damn it, Bert. It's a goddamn shell game.
Oh, it is with me right now.
You ever see the female hyenas? They
No.
have dicks.
Hold on. Have you ever seen a hyena up close?
No, I don't even think I've seen one at the zoo. Maybe I've seen it at the zoo.
Fucking massive.
Oh, they're big animals. It's like 200 pounds, right?
It has to be bigger. If you I saw one up within 5 feet of it,
Oh.
and I literally said, if that thing rolled through your neighborhood, you'd think it was a fucking werewolf. Like
It's one of the most powerful bites of
Yeah.
all the mammals, too. Incredibly powerful jaws. Like
low hindquarters, like
Yeah.
almost like a gorilla bared up.
Brian Callen told me this fucking story once about this. I guess I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but they were you're getting a third-hand stoned version of this story. But someone was training hyenas, and they rolled their ankle, and they had a limp. And as soon as the hyena realized they had a limp, even though they had trained this hyena, the hyena attacked them and took a chunk out of their calf, just clamped down on them and bit them, and they had to fight it off, and it couldn't help itself. It saw her like limping, and its
Instincts took
DNA
over.
just kicked in. And even though like this person was trained, I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl, if they were training this fucking hyena, like when the shit hit the fan, when the hyena saw a limp, it's nature, it's like programming kicked in. That's nuts, man. Like the nature nurture argument, I guess it didn't work on hyenas.
Fuck no, man. These things are monsters. Monsters.
They're really weird. It's a weird animal, man. The females are bigger than the males. Look at them. Dude, come on. That's not an avatar animal. That's a real animal. That is a total goddamn avatar animal.
Living in Africa with lions.
God, look at that cock.
This picture's it might not be a cock. It might be a female cock. The
That-
babies come out of those things too, dude. That's what's crazy.
The babies come out of their dick?
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I might be so high.
That's so funny.
Look at
I might be making this up.
Is that like used as the same as a cock, or is it just like a woman, like a female has a pussy boner sometimes? It comes out like her clit and gets long and hard.
No. It's called a faux penis. I think it's the only mammal that has a faux penis. I don't know if any reptiles or fish have one, but it's a fake penis. And that fake penis is also where the babies come out. So if it's a female, the female has sex. I don't know how the fuck she has sex.
Can we not see
How
the
do they have
birth?
sex?
Can we just not look at the
see the
birth
birth?
video?
If the baby comes out of there, where does a male have sex? Jamie, investigate. Where does the male stick his dick?
It's called,
into?
Jamie, I know this.
don't
It's
wanna
called
look at
docking.
Hyena giving birth on safari.
Jamie,
Okay, let's see
Google
this.
Google male docking.
Jesus Louises.
What happened? What happened? I missed it.
She's watching a lot of baby stuff come out of her pussy hole.
Pussy dick.
You can't say pussy if it's an animal because you look
Oh,
like
it
a
just
creep.
comes out in a sack.
If you say animal's pussy, you seem like a real creep.
Yeah, but vagina even sounds.
Yeah. But look at that fucking sack. Oh. Good golly. Look at that thing, man. What a weird animal. And what a harsh fucking place to live. Did you see that picture I posted on Instagram the other day? Somebody posted it on the message board, and I found it on the Google. Or I copied and pasted. I don't remember which one it was, but it's a lion with a whoa. Is that the female fucking the male or mating? Ooh. This is an actual mating. Mating hyenas at the zoo.
That's
Oh
how-
my god.
So that's where we got it.
Oh god.
Look at-
What in the fuck?
By the way, my wife gives that same face sometimes, like, wrap it up, big boy. People are watching.
This is horrific.
Oh my God, he's going to town. He's going yard on that pussy.
But it's almost like he's like barely alive. Like he's trying to climb a fence and he can't quite get over it. You know, it doesn't look violent. It looks like he's a dying person trying to make it over a fence.
And the noises he's making, it sounds like Esther Koo.
And he checks after he shoots his load in there. He starts licking her.
Oh, he cream pied.
He's disgusting.
Cream pie.
Disgusting pervert. And she's just frozen there. Look at her. She's like, what just happened? That never happened before. What just happened? You got to think, like, that's probably the first time she's ever been fucked, right?
That hyena?
That, the female?
No.
I'm sure
She's been being
all
fucked
life.
since she was a pup.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound racist about hyenas, but I have a feeling
my
they're fucking
God.
monsters.
But don't they have rules in the hyena community?
No.
When you can fuck your kids?
No, they all fuck kids. Manatees. Right now, I'm gonna get hate mail. If you could, what would you pick? Ready? Safari with your children, right?
Right.
Full safari, see all the animals, or hunting trip. One of the good ones where it's conservative and the money goes back to the people.
I don't want to go hunt in Africa.
Really?
I can't imagine any conservation argument that you could ever make, which is like one of the most important arguments for hunting. I can't imagine any conservation effort you would make where it's like to get your meat, you're going to get in a plane and you're going to fly across the ocean. It's going to take you 16 hours, and then you're going to kill something over there, and then you're going to bring it back on a plane all the way to California or all the way to Michigan or wherever you live. Like, to me, the only reason why I'd be going over there is because I enjoyed hunting. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I haven't crossed into that yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into. And I shouldn't even say yet because I don't think I ever will. I'm never gonna shoot a lion. I don't want to shoot anything I don't want to eat. I don't want to go. I just don't. I don't have a desire to like go and shoot something that I would never bring home and eat. Like those things are sort of. They don't make any sense to me. I get how they need to happen. Like, Zimbabwe, this is an article recently about the Cecil the lion thing that's kind of fucked up. They're going to cull 200 lions in Zimbabwe because hunters aren't going there anymore. So they have this, they have too many lions. So because they have too many lions, the cows, the ungulates, the wild animals that they have roaming around through the fields, apparently they're getting devastated. So their solution is to go out and cull 200 lions, which means they're going to shoot them. Not only is it not going to give them any money, but they're going to have to pay money to someone to go out there and find these lions and shoot them. So it comes at a deficit. Zimbabwe park to cull 200 lions, cite lack of hunters. So since there's, look, it's not. See, again, I'm not saying that you should go hunt a lion.
I would never. I have no interest in killing a lion ever.
No interest.
However, how much? So, like, let's ballpark it.
$50,000 for each lion. So, if they're going to do 200 lions, it'd be, what is that?
$10 million.
Damn, this is hurting my felines.
No, it's not that much.
$10 million.
It's $1 million, right? $2 million?
No, it's $10 million.
Wait a minute. How many people is it? It was $50,000, and how many lions? 200.
Yeah.
So
it's
if
Roy
it was
Choi, it's $10 million.
100,000 lions, and it was 100 hunters, it would be or $100,000.
Brian, do the math real
50.
quick.
It's
$10 million.
It's 200.
$10 million.
It's 200.
It's $10 million.
It's
Yeah,
$10 million,
it's $10 million.
guys. It was Roy Choi. It's $10 million.
It's 200 lions at $50,000 a lion, right? So they missed out on all that money.
Well, $10 million that could keep the pride healthy.
How is it $10 million? Because if it's $100,000 and there's 100 lions, isn't that no $100,000? Yeah, it's $10 million.
Motherfucker! I hope that they're drinking and partying with us.
For sure, people are.
I just think
I
like
might be the dumbest person at math that's ever lived.
It's like
I just-
sports.
I'm in the top 3 dumbest people at math.
Yeah. Sports and math.
I
It's
just
just
had
like-
a visual. This should be a sketch. Joe with his daughter doing math, and her
I'm
going,
like, I don't fucking know.
and then him just stopping and go, want to learn an armbar?
This is what I learned when I was in high school. Calculators. They're always right, and we're not going to run out of batteries. So what you do is you go to a calculator, and in my fucking brain, I was done, dude. Numbers were not even remotely important to me.
Yep.
Like I don't. The quest for like to calculate things, and I get that it's a nice little game, it's a little puzzle for your mind, but it's not interesting enough for me.
No. Do you remember when they told you, oh, and you'll just carry a calculator in your pocket around all day, or are you going to learn how to do math? And you're like,
I'll
oh,
carry
yeah.
a calculator, stupid.
Turns out I do. Turns out I got one. My wife has one on her wrist.
Well, how often did it come up? I mean, I knew how to like carry the money if I worked at a register. Someone gave you a 20, and you had $7.50 due back in change. You knew how to dish that
Oh,
out.
I always fuck that one up. I would always go, so you gave me $20, you paid $16. Well, here's $4, and then here's the change. I always give him $1 extra. I never did the math of like 3 and then or whatever the math is.
It's so funny. Mathematics is a weird thing because it's the simple mathematics, like calculations like addition, multiplication, division, stuff that you have to do in your head that everybody associates with math. Like, oh, God, math's so boring. But then you get to weird math, like math that's kind of solving equations about like how big a black hole is and trying to figure out like gravity waves. And they're doing a lot of that stuff with mathematics, and they're analyzing data and measuring and calculating and trying to figure out like the way the fucking universe works. And that's all with some strange math that you got to go deep in to get to. That Goodwill Hunting shit that like,
That blows my mind.
whoa.
Yeah.
Someone make one video of just explaining that kind of problem.
And what's the deal with remainders?
I don't understand. I don't
You
understand.
sound like you're saying clown posse right now. And what's the deal with the remainders?
Magnets, how do they work?
By the way, in a parallel universe, everyone's drinking at Doug Stanhope's house watching this. What a great fucking life this is.
It's hilarious.
fucking magnets.
How they work, bro.
I got to credit Brian Poussaint for fucking turning me on to that. He said that somewhere, and I heard him say that, and I fucking laughed. Dude, I got to say two things. Steve Agee is one of the funniest motherfuckers alive. That guy is so fucking talented. Next thing, MCT oil in your shakes.
Don't put a lot, or you'll poop yourself.
It's true.
And die.
Strong advice.
I'm
You
being
won't
dead
die.
serious. I put a teaspoon in.
You went a hair
Tablespoon.
too far. Yeah, a couple tablespoons, you'd be fine.
Does it? Do you find that it binds to you longer? And you
Binds to you? Like,
So
what
I
way?
do my shakes. My shakes are kale, like a dickload of kale, almond milk, your protein.
How do you pack your dick? With a stick, or when you get a dick load? Like
Usually
you
with-
wrapping it around the outside.
with baby powder?
How do you do a dick load?
I fill it all the way to the top of kale,
Right.
and then I push it down a little bit. I put some frozen fruit in there, usually blueberries or something. I do your hemp protein, and then I do Mean Green from Trader Joe's, and that's my shake. Okay. Mm-hmm. But then I just heard you say somewhere that MCT oil helps bind the proteins or helps bind the nutrients to your fat cells.
Yeah,
and
I think
believe
it was Rob Wolf that told me that. Who the fuck told me that? One of those guys.
So I was doing my shakes, and I was noticing shitting like a wolf within 2 hours.
a wolf.
Before the MCT oil, I take the
How's a
MCT
wolf shit?
fucking right out of his ass.
Right, crazy, like howls while he does it.
It's going to be quicker than a dog, than a house dog.
Is there any anger involved?
Oh, dude, it's a wolf. He's got
would
fucking
imagine.
predators. He's got a pack he's got to hang with. It fucking happens quick.
Why are you
imagine-
using kale and mean green? Isn't that the same shit?
I don't know.
I would imagine a wolf would take an angry shit, like teeth glared, just shitting out quick because he doesn't want to feel vulnerable. Doesn't want some other wolf to come along and try to take the alpha spot.
I agree. I
What
agree.
What a brutal society. Can you imagine if you were a wolf and you just lived on a mountain and all you did is run around and bite shit, chase things, and your number one instinct is to chase things and chop at their legs. That's what they like to do. They like to run up behind cows, run up behind elk, whatever you can get, deer, and they bite their legs. And they'll chase them and they bite their legs again. And they'll take down a big-ass animal that way. They'll take down a moose.
Sounds like social justice warriors. Just
Does
biting
it?
the leg. Fuck yes.
Are you upset?
With social justice warriors?
Yeah.
100%.
What's going on?
I don't like when I see someone like Kurt Metzger, who I find to be fucking hilarious, when I watch people attack him based on some list of fucking demands they have, like terrorists, as opposed
What
to
was
just.
the list of demands? What did they do?
This is a broad stroke. I know that Kurt almost lost his job on Amy's show. Amy saved him. Amy stood up for him, but because he did something, Kurt didn't want to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But
Okay.
I mean, maybe he did talk about it. I'm sure Kurt's been on the show.
He
Jamie,
has.
you motherfucker. But like I don't know, man. I just find that shit bothersome, and it looks like wolves just trying to bite until some corporation goes, he's been bitten. It's fucking weak. Let's eat it.
This is what I think we have to really be careful about.
Uh-oh.
We have to really be careful about, and I don't mean us, I mean as humans, we got to really be careful about trying to get other people to think and behave the way we do.
Yeah.
Like once you establish like sort of a guideline of how we all want to be treated with each other, you're going to have disagreements. And if you believe one thing and I believe something that's different than what you believe, it can become a real problem if I decide to go after you for your belief and attack you for your belief and try to get you fired for your belief, right?
Yeah.
That's where it gets weird. Like, and especially when it comes to something like stand-up, which requires a certain amount of offensive thinking. It requires, if you want stand-up that I'm going to enjoy, you got to take some risks. You got to be offensive. You have to be offensive in an honest way that is undeniable, especially in this era, because we're living in this era where we're supposed to pretend that certain differences don't exist and diversity is the most important thing, but there's some hilarious differences.
Oh.
And it's one of the reasons why we like black comics, because black comics can shit all over white people, and it's just the same kind of funny, racist, racial humor, and it's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Because white people have been dicks to black people for so long that it's like in It's just in the guidelines. It's like if you go back to old like Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor bits, like they were great and white people liked them. You know, it's like it relieved a little tension to have him shit on white people. You know?
Yeah. I like Cat Williams. I still like Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to
He's
tour with that guy.
hilarious.
That guy is I love when he gets into a preachy mode.
Dude.
I like when he's sweating and his hair's fucked up and his shirt's soaking. I love that dude.
He's wild, and you know he gets crazy sometimes, and things go off the rails.
like
but
yesterday.
he's awesome. Did he go off the rails yesterday?
Something like that. He punched some guy.
So maybe that guy was talking shit. Okay, I got your back,
Arrested.
Cat.
I'm on Cat's team right now.
He's funny as fuck, man. I think he's one of my all-time favorite comedians. As far as like when he's in the groove, when he's tucked and moving, and he's crushing it. He's a motherfucker, dude. He's
Maybe
a
you
force
got
of nature.
broke ass pussy. I like,
Yeah.
dude. Cat Williams is
He's a
I
force
think
of nature. When he's on, he's a force of nature, man. He's just so good.
the thing is.
Oh shit! Challenges Kevin Hart to a $5 million battle and explains Georgia arrest.
How do you not love this?
Oh my God, I love him.
Your stuff on social media, boy, I know what you do, but you do it for play. If you do it for real, here it is, Kevin. I got a show at your hometown in Philly. I'm gonna tape my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full court basketball court, a boxing ring, 2 microphones for a rap cipher, or you can get your ass dusted in comedy on that stage. But it's $1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in Forbes. I'll be bringing mine in cash, Mitch. Bring yours however you want. And since you're not a puppet, don't bring no white people with you then.
Oh yeah!
$5 million
Fuck yeah!
individually.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
You can take it all, or you can take it part and parcel.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is the new movement.
By the way, he's wearing a fur coat. He's wearing a fur coat. He made a
Dropped
heart
a heart
sign.
over his face.
He made a heart sign. He's standing in front of a Lamborghini. He just got out of a private jet.
We make enough money to drink out of real glassware.
Oh shit! Do you get that
He
reference?
told him to give her the plastic cup.
Do you get that reference?
No.
Okay, I love Kevin. By the way, love Cat.
Okay.
Kevin did a comedy group with all the guys that tour with him, and all the guys that tour with him, they call themselves the Plastic Cup Boys.
Damn,
So,
Daniel.
so he goes. So he says, "Fuck yo, Plastic Cup Boys. We drink out of real glass." Oh, I want to be black right now, so fucking bad.
So can't you just enjoy it on the sidelines without wanting to be a part of the actual culture
Nope.
itself?
I want to. You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do? I want
Please
to.
tell me.
I want to be in that world. I want to be in a fur coat. I'm gonna recreate that but I'm gonna do it to Tom Segura, and I'm gonna be like, fuck yo, babies. We got real kids,
Maybe
11
you guys
years
could
old.
Have like you could reenact it, sort of like how they reenact the Civil War. You guys could reenact the Cat Williams and Kevin Hart comedy feud if it were to really go down.
He's got his jet going in the background.
And he got into a Lamborghini, dude. First of all, whose Lamborghini is that, and whose jet? And where'd you get the fur coat?
If he's only bringing $5 million of his cash, he does not have enough to have a fucking
Well,
jet.
he might. He might. I mean, look, that guy can do giant places. Cat Williams, even though, like I said, he's gone off the rails a couple of times, he can still do giant plays. He's one of the best comics in the world. 100%. hands down.
Why has
Hands
he not
down.
been on your podcast yet?
I never met him.
Oh, dude,
And he
let's.
can't know where we work.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
He rolls with Suge too. I've met him
Allegedly.
twice.
Dude, by the way, he's a legit hip hop dude.
Yeah.
He rolled. I think he went up against Cameron and Dip Squad, and like had a rap battle against I think someone got shot for it. Can you Google that, Jamie?
Jesus
I think Roy
Christ.
Choi was there.
Jesus Christ.
Like he's a fascinating guy.
Yeah, when his stand-up is on, it's just sensational. When he's sweating and pacing, and it's just sensational. He's
Do you know
so
what my
good.
thing was? Is that I'm good friends with Red Grant, which is one of his openers.
Yeah.
And he always paid the comics he worked with well. He always treated
great.
them nice. That's so fucking important.
He said something that I remember reading or watching a video rather, and he was talking, and it made total sense, and I didn't really consider it that much before. He was like, I never eat before I go on stage. I don't want to have any food digesting in my stomach. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, what is it like? It could be like 7 o'clock and the show's at 8. Like, I gotta eat. Do you really? Like, most of the time you don't. Like, we're so spoiled. Like, most of the time you can go, like, a long time without actually eating, and you'll be fine. It's like you have a little bit of a craving, but it's almost too much for us to, oh, God, I can't eat this. I gotta go on stage. And he was saying that, like, eating before you go on stage, it slows you down. It slows down your thinking because your body needs the energy to digest that food. I'm like, of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does. And I remember this is several years ago. I remember as soon as I saw that video, I was like, that is how I'm going to think about that from now on. Because before I was just thinking about the moment itself. I'm like, I could do it even though I just ate. I could be fine. And you can if you don't eat too much. But eating right before you go on stage is probably a bad idea.
That was when I used to work with Jay Moore, that was a Buddy Hackett quote.
What's this, Jamie? Cat Williams talks signing with Cameron.
Cameron, yeah, he worked with Dip Squad. Dipset.
Well, that's
God damn it, Jamie.
2006. You can't say Dip Squad, dude.
Was that racist?
It's Dipset.
Dipset.
You're so racist. You're so racist. You know what people love to do? They love to call you a racist, so it takes any fucking focus off of their potential racism. That's a big one. I definitely couldn't be a racist, but what you did, Dip Squad. It's Dipset. You don't even know what a set is? Maybe you shouldn't be commenting on their culture.
There's a very big difference from being called a racist and doing something racist on accident.
Oh yeah, both are possible.
Like I did something. No, but I mean like meaning like I've been called like I've had whatever person go that joke's racist, and you're like it's not racist at all, at all. There's no racism in that joke. And then I've done something racist on accident, and then realizing you've done something is in fact hurtful is like holy fuck. You're almost taking the real meaning of the word away from the word. Does that make sense?
Well, you can't change the definitions of what racism is.
No, but I think people lighten the load. Like I'll tell you the two examples. I used to have a joke. This is hacky. I'm going to just say it real quick. I used to say, "You want to know something racist?" That was where my flaw, because people would hear that and assume I was about to say something racist.
Right.
When in fact I'm about to say a joke.
Right.
And it was they don't make baby powder for black people. Like, how racist is that? They should make 8 different colors. Call it Magic Johnson & Johnson's. Stupid joke. Black woman got upset, stormed out of the Dayton Funny Bone. Literally, I'm going to protest. Now, I did something racist one time where I walked into but I didn't mean to do it. I'm a big fan of Opie and Anthony. I think this will attest to anyone that's listened to Opie and Anthony. And one of the sayings they used to say on that was, "Hello, boys." Like, it was like a saying from the show.
Right.
And I rolled into a all-black club in the 8th ward. It's called Bullets. And I walked into the bathroom. It was all black men. And I was a little buzzed.
Oh, Jesus
And I just
Christ.
rolled. But it was all old black men. It was all old black men.
Oh, no.
I know. And I just walked in. I went, "Hello, boys."
Oh, my God.
Now, you got to understand, my usage of that is based on Opie and Anthony,
Right.
which was just to show that they had that line in their opening
Hello,
trailer.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I definitely didn't. I would never ever in a million years ever do something like that. However, a black man grabbed me and pulled me aside and said, "You don't say that word in here." And I realized I did something racist, and I went, that feeling, that heartfelt feeling I had where I went, I am like literally almost to tears. Like, I am so sorry. I have no idea what that brings up in you. And I didn't know,
Right.
like, but I had no intention in it.
Right.
That is the two differences where I go, don't throw that word around unless you're ready to throw the rock in the glass house.
Well, that's a word you could easily throw around in a room full of white guys, and you were thinking in a non-racist way.
Just
and
walking
you just
into a
let
bar.
it out. You let it out because you would let it out all the time. But it's a perfect way to describe it. It's accidental racism. Right?
100%.
I think we got a real problem with people looking for stuff that's racist that isn't, though. You know, like a thing like that, you would have to find out who you are. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what this Bert Kreischer guy? You know, is like, has he done stuff? Is this funny for him? Does he think is he a boundary pusher guy? Where he wants to go into a room full of black people and say some racist? Is this like Ari when he was doing The Amazing Racist? Remember that?
Dude, that's the reason I know Ari.
He's so crazy.
That's the reason I know Ari. That is
Like, that's a sketch, you know?
that. And look, and I've showed it to people since. Maybe times have changed from when I first saw that to when now.
Yeah.
But when I saw the La Migra one,
Yeah.
I'll tell you when it was. It's like 2004. I just had a kid, and I was sitting up in my house having a bottle of Jameson. I was working with Jameson at the time, and I saw it, and I'd seen Ari before, and I giggled hard as fuck. I'm gonna own that there was a time where that was funny. If it's not funny now and people hate it, I giggled hard as fuck.
It's still kind of funny. I mean, it's fucked up. It's definitely fucked up, but it's still kind of funny.
What's more fucked up is the guy from fucking ShamWow owns all that shit.
That is kind of fucked up.
That's the most fucked up about all that is ShamWow owns all of that. How much? What do you think he's making, Jamie? Like $80,000 a month on those?
See, like your situation, like if they knew you, like anybody else knows you, then there would be no worry. It would be just I got drunk and I fucked up and I said the wrong thing.
Yeah, I said I just said the wrong words.
But isn't it interesting that thing where you did that, if they did know you and they knew you said the wrong words and they knew that, okay, this guy genuinely would have said this to a bunch of white people and he just slip of the tongue and
I had listened to Opie and Anthony and it was in my fucking repertoire of words to say when I walk in a room.
But there's a giant difference between that and someone who walks in that bathroom with a decided intention to make those black men uncomfortable. Walks in there. Yeah, and he says,
there's a giant
"Hello,
difference,
boys."
however, there's no distinction between what we did.
To them, especially if they're like you, they've had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
Like you're all at a bar, right? So maybe they could be a little tipsy too. And sometimes people are a little drunk and they misinterpret things, or they're quick to look for an altercation. That could be a problem too.
The name of the bar was Bullets. I was there to see Kermit Ruffins. I was hanging out with him in his car, and what?
Nothing. I'm just thinking. No, go ahead.
But that is in essence. Like I remember just the guy pulling me aside and literally grabbing me, not being nice about it, but grabbing me, say, "You don't say those words here."
Yeah.
And I went, "Whoa!" I didn't grow up racist, so I don't like to say "boy."
It's a drunk mistake.
Yeah,
I did the same
mistake.
exact thing when I moved here. It's like the first 6 months, I was at the Comedy Store. I came up to a guy that I knew, and I go, "Hey, boy." And he goes, "What the fuck did you say?" I had no idea. I had never heard of the boy thing ever, and I don't know where I got it from.
Boy in
Ohio, no.
Ohio, really?
And I just didn't have racism in my family or anything really, so I never
Brian
really
was raised as some sort of a preserve.
religious.
It's amazing that
some fence was up, and it was like that. Remember that was it Joaquin Phoenix that had that fucking. The M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie about those people
The
that
Wall.
lived.
No, the Village.
The Village.
Yes.
And there was planes that were flying overhead. They didn't know about the planes. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where you, at the end of the movie, like, I'm going to find him and I'm going to fucking choke him. I'm going to find you and I'm going to choke you. No. That is not a movie idea.
You're not allowed to do
You
that.
son of a bitch. Who let you do this? Who let you spend so much money on this, you fucker?
It's New Hampshire.
No planes fly over them? Get the fuck. They've never seen a plane. The fuck out of here. They just made it to the road in a day.
Yeah.
They walked to the road in a day. What are the odds that some fucking hippies aren't going to find you decades ago? Shut your mouth. In one day, they're on the road, the same day. That's not far. How fast are you walking?
They're in a Jeep Cherokee within 24 hours.
So you're telling me you didn't even hear Harleys? When Harleys ride down the road, you didn't hear that? Get the fuck out of here. Asshole face.
That's what I want my compound to be like. Stanhope's compound's just like that.
That guy knocked it out of the park with his first movie, though, The Sixth Sense, which was another, like, twist. I think the twist was so good in that movie, it might have ruined him.
Ari and I are talking about storytelling like that. The best stories you ever listened to. When did you realize he was dead? Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I never figured it out until now. Wait a minute, he was dead? The kid was dead?
No.
Oh, my God. The guy was dead? Who was
Bruce
dead?
Willis is dead. Wait, when did you figure it out?
When he said it. Like, when the kid and him were having the conversation towards the end of the movie. I was getting suspicious somewhere in there. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
This is like 2004. When did that movie come out?
No, it was not 2004. It was probably 1998. 99?
Whoa. 99. Was it?
Bam! Roy Choi was on the show, son.
Powerful.
But
I don't remember. I think it was towards the end. I think they were having a conversation together. But I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on before that. But
I can tell you in the part of the moment of the movie when he finds blood on his shirt.
Oh yeah.
That's when I realized. Because like when he grabbed the red door handle, I was like, yeah, I don't know what that fucking means. Why did she lock him out of that room?
Boy.
Does he not have an office anymore? Does he need to get an office?
That was a great movie, man. But then the twist was so much of a part of the movie that in his movies you would wait for the twist.
Yeah.
You know, you try to figure out when's this twist coming.
What's better, that or Usual Suspects?
I think Usual Suspects is a goddamn classic.
What
Best.
is
That's a
this?
classic.
Wait, what do you mean? What?
Which one's better, Sixth Sense or the Usual
They're both
Suspects?
great.
In the reveal,
They're
though, in the
both
reveal,
great.
the two best reveals in movie, probably, right?
Oh, in the reveal. I thought you meant just in the movie itself.
No, in the
reveal, the
mov-
Sixth Sense is better.
No, the movie is the reveal.
The Kaiser
Right?
Soze reveal is like a little like, what? All of a sudden he's not limping.
What about
Come
the Fight
what?
Club reveal?
Just walks away. That one was
Nope.
the worst.
That was the worst.
I did not like it. And people get mad at me for saying that. You don't even understand Fight Club, bro. You don't understand. You don't understand what it stands for. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Memento?
It was good. I'll tell you what, Butterfly Effect's probably the movie that hit the most.
Butterfly Effect.
With Ashton Kutcher.
Did you actually watch that?
Dude, it kind of fucked me up for a couple
Did you have
days.
your pants on? Why did you watch that movie?
I'm obsessed with time travel.
You are?
Joe, like,
Whoa.
if you ever have a time travel person in here, I just want to hang out and just listen. I'm obsessed with time travel.
Is there a time travel person?
It's like the Bigfoot guy, I think, does it also.
Well,
He
there was
does
this
both.
one guy at I think it was the University of Connecticut, Roy Mallet, Ronald Mallet. Yeah, Ronald Mallet. He was a scientist out of the University of Connecticut, and this is a crazy like Spider-Man story. His dad died when he was young, and he became obsessed with figuring out Ronald Mallet. He became obsessed with figuring out a time machine so he could go back in time and save his father. And that's what led him on this path to become like the world's specialist in. I mean, he's like a legit, credentialed, respected intellectual and scientist. And his accomplishments is like he's been able to like try to keep track of and study time in a way that they're really thinking that there's going to come one point in time someday where they're going to be able to figure out how to travel back and forth through time. It's going to take a long ass time, but one thing that he learned was that he most likely will never be able to go back in time and save his dad. And so I think the idea, as it's been explained, if I remember correctly, is that you only can time travel back to the point where the first time machine was made. So if someone one day comes up with a time machine, say if that's like 100 years from now, from that moment on, from the moment of the invention of the time machine to forever in the future, all those people can come back to that moment.
So you're telling me the first guy that invents a time machine can travel back a second, then 2 seconds, then 5 seconds.
Even crazier. When the moment a first time machine is invented, all the people that have gone from, let's say a time machine gets invented in 2050, okay?
Okay.
All the people from 2050 to as long as human life survives, and as long as there's a power source, and as long as there's a computer grid, as long as there's some method of establishing information, all those people will be able to come back to that moment and any other moment in between. So time stops. There's no regular time. There might be regular time for you, but it's only a matter of perspective, because regular time for you is not going to matter anymore, because people can come and go back to your time
I wish you hadn't said this.
as much as they want. But then here's another problem. How much mass is contained in this one environment? And is it okay to bring in more mass? What happens if you do? If you have 300 million people in America right now, but a time machine gets invented, and then all of a sudden people from 2050 to 250,050 to whenever the fuck the next big asteroid wipes us out like the dinosaurs. You've got super, super far distance in the future people. Every day, every person has the possibility and potential with technology to reach this moment right now. And what if they did all together all at once? Would we even have the space to contain them? Would we even have the space on this earth? We would have to regulate time travel at every second of every day from today on until the moment. There's no.
I can debunk this. Are you ready for me to debunk a scientist?
I'm hoping you can do it.
Here we go. Mic drop moment. Dear scientist, you spent your whole life figuring this out. I just shot you down. So I built a time travel, me and Brian. Our time travel consists of a bottle of champagne, a lighter, and a joint, right? I mean, I'm just saying, simple.
Time machine, yeah.
Stop. No, Brian, please don't join in on this. Can I handle this one on my own? So I'm just saying simple mechanics. Let's pretend that that's the time machine, right? So we got it. All right, we invented a time machine. Oh my God. Right now we can travel back to that moment. 3 days ago, we can travel back to this moment. Or 3 days from now, I can say to Brian, hey, our time machine really just consists of a bottle of champagne, a joint, and a lighter. Let's fucking send you back. You know the 3 things. Build one then. Come back to me now.
Your idea should get together with my Chipotle person and have sex and have a baby that makes no sense.
You guys, there's no time machine ever going to be built because we're in the
simulation.
simulation.
Brian, people like you are the reason Trump's in the fucking run.
Bro. Donald Trump is president. Cats and dogs living together.
We're a simulation program. Time machine doesn't matter.
Bert's idea is Back to the Future 3, basically.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Fuck off, Jamie. Jesus Christ.
Jamie, shutting your shit down.
Non-stop. Like, what did I do to you? I'm interrupting your kettlebell workout?
Non-stop shutting you down.
Oh, fuck.
Wouldn't it be cool to see like scientists actually work on time travel? Like if they're like shooting lasers at walls and trying to run through the wall. Or...
essentially, they're definitely doing it in one way or another. They might not even realize they're doing it. But every intensive scientific experiment that anyone's doing anywhere in the world, any results that they get, any groundbreaking results, all get kind of added together into this soup of possibilities. So whatever they invent today, whatever they figure out today, even if they're not thinking like, hey, we're going to invent a time machine, but any new technology that someone invents today makes more things possible. And if more things become possible, eventually people are going to get to the point where they go, hey, this time thing, can we manipulate this? Or is this just what it is? Is it what it is? Or can we move around in it like the air? Remember when we used to think we could fly through the air, but then we realized we could fly through the air. Why can't we fly through time? Are you sure we can't fly through time?
Dude.
And if people keep getting smarter and smarter and more aware of the possibilities that have been created by all these different technologies, it's going to open up the door to insane possibility, like unimaginable possibility of the ability to manipulate matter, human bodies, time travel. It's just a matter of whether or not we'll have enough power and whether or not we'll, like, if we'll do it correctly, we'll figure it out to the point where, like, we definitely didn't figure out the fossil fuel thing or the plastic thing correctly. We invented it without considering the consequences of way more fucking people and way more impact on the environment than anybody ever imagined when they first invented those things. So when you see the oceans choking up with plastic and the fucking sky's all fucking black with smog from shitty cars, like, nobody saw that coming when they invented those things. So there's got to be a way where they can look at all the different things that we're doing right now and extrapolate into the future and figure out how to fix it. Once they can do that, then it becomes a matter of how much energy do you put forth and what are the rewards that you get back, and can you continue to sustain that energy? So if you can continue to sustain the energy and you start just creating time machines and you start creating the ability to manipulate bodies and change shapes, and you would turn your body into whatever the fuck you wanted it to be, and there would be no standard human being. There'd be people with fucking wings. There would be people with giant heads. You could literally, if they start manipulating bodies, it's just a matter of time before they manipulate them at will and before they manipulate them back and forth. What's going to be the first person that decides to become a horse person and then decides to become a centaur and then decides to become the Hulk and then becomes a brony? You know, like how many fucking people are going to do weird shit to their body once they realize that you can change it? You can decide. You can introduce a gene that makes your shoulders stretch out wide like this.
Give me wings tomorrow.
Yeah, you never fucking know.
Give me wings tomorrow.
Dude, if they can figure out how to splice genes into different plants to create like more resistant plants to pesticides, and they can figure out how to manipulate things. They figured out how to grow a human ear on some sort of a mammal. I think it was a mouse or something like that. Like they're constantly trying to figure out new ways to combine things and manipulate things. Just keep going from today to 100,000 years from now. It's inevitable.
Inevitable, dude.
Inevitable.
Imagine if they had told your grandparents you'll be able to speak to your child on the other side of the coast. How would I do that? It just seems...
Right. Look at this. Human ear they grew on a fucking rat.
I kind of look like Rich Voss's ear.
What's that ear on that Asian guy?
That looks like Waleed Ismail's ear. He's a
Waleed
UFC
Ismail.
fighter.
What's that?
What?
They grew his nose.
No,
his
not
nose got
there.
jacked. Yeah, they grew his nose on his
on
forehead,
forehead.
and then they cut you open and stitch it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
that's-
the
that's-
fucking phones. They
it's
can
really
grow a nose
common.
on a forehead and
Well,
then put
they-
it on your face.
What they do is they kind of stretch it out. They stretch your skin out by putting this sort of artificial nose thing that they kind of grow on your head. There's a bunch of different experiments that people are doing right now.
That
this
gives
is,
me hope.
And this is interesting, but it's kind of like almost like beginner steps to what they're ultimately going to be able to do.
No, wait. Are they doing this because there's no, like
It's plastic surgery stuff. It's
No,
like
no,
this
no.
guy got his nose fucked up.
No, but I mean, like, meaning, like all of a sudden we have a cure to fix a nose that's gone.
Right.
Right. As opposed to AIDS medication is still kind of like, they're just like, we can hold it off. We're not curing it because the money's in the comeback.
Do you think that's real?
That's what Chris Rock said. Dude, Joe, I don't get all my information I get it from podcasts and comedy and TV.
You never know. It definitely could be real, but I would imagine it would be really hard for people to ethically hide a cure for AIDS because they can make money from the treatment.
Yeah.
You'd have to assume they're the same people, too. You'd have to assume that the people that are making the treatment got a hold of the cure and decided to stop it. Either they bought them out or it was their company that invented it. They'd have to all be conveniently connected.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And then there's
Sorry,
also
Chris.
a scientist. There's a scientist that would have to be involved in the discovery of something as monumental as curing AIDS. If a scientist could figure that out, that would be gigantic for the reputation. They would be like Francis Crick. They would be like, they would be like Watson. They would be like one of the great scientists of all time. Someone who's invented something. They would be like, I mean, you could go back in time and think about all the big inventors, the Teslas and all the different people. Someone who can invent something that cures the Black Plague of the 20th century, which is what AIDS was to a lot of people. If someone came along and cured that, God damn, they'd be big. They'd be giant. I don't think you can keep that shit quiet because...
It makes sense. But now I guess I'm agreeing with the conspiracy theorists who I've heard on this podcast.
You can't totally listen to them, not because their ideas are invalid, but because a lot of times they don't absolutely know. And people jump to conclusions. So it's not that conspiracies don't exist, because they definitely exist. We all know that some people conspire to do certain things. It happens all the time. But it's whether or not the conspiracies that we just get really attached to, whether or not they're real.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they're just not,
Yeah. I still believe in time travel.
Time travel's totally possible. It
I
just
believe
hasn't-
100%.
I just don't think it's happened yet.
Everyone's-
I think everything's possible, man. I think we're going to come to some weird point in time, whether it's, like I said, 1,000 years from now, whatever the fuck it is. There's going to be a weird point in time where we could do anything we want. Jamie, pull up that fucking video that you showed me yesterday. Good googly moogly. You ready to get your mind blown?
Yes. Yeah.
You ready? Have you seen
yeah.
this NVIDIA shit?
Should I peep
The
for
drawing.
this?
Video?
The
How much time
drawing.
have we been
Yes.
on, Jamie? Am I done?
We're close to 3 hours right now.
You gotta see this.
All right, I'll hold it.
You gotta pee?
I gotta pee, but I can
Hold
keep
on.
talking.
Why don't you pee and Brian and I will have a little chit chat while you're
Okay.
gone, and then we'll come
you guys
back
gonna
and
talk
enjoy
about
this.
Roy Choi?
No, we're gonna be good. It's Roy Choi shit. Can you believe that,
I
Brian?
know.
What the fuck, Bert Kreischer?
Remember
How
that part
dare
in
you.
Indiana Jones where she's riding an elephant and then she sprays cologne on the elephant and because the elephant smelled?
No.
I hated that part. I don't know why.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. I broke this lighter while I was sitting here, and I didn't know why I was doing it. I just kept pushing on little pieces of the lighter, and pieces are breaking off. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with
You
me?
probably got like lighter fluid all over. You're gonna light a joint and
I didn't, but I'm like, why? What is it about pot that makes you one thing at a time is just not interesting enough? You got to think about time travel and Chipotle and how do I break this lighter with 2 fingers? Can I just use 2 fingers and break this lighter? I won't push with the 3rd finger at all.
He says time travel is possible. He thinks it's just not technologically here yet. He says he needs about $250,000 to make a scale model of his machine. But if he could get funding like the Hadron Collider, like $10 billion, then they could probably do it.
This is Mallet says
Yeah,
that?
that's what he said.
Jesus Christ.
They just-
I would say that too, though. Yeah, you give me funding like the fucking Large
Yeah,
Hadron
it sounds like a
Collider.
scam. Like,
I'll bring cartoons to life.
it's like
bitch.
Shark Tank.
Now
Try
check
that on
this
Shark
out.
Tank.
Check this out, because this is the NVIDIA Tilt Brush. Is that what it's called, Jamie?
Yeah, it's on the HTC Vive. Google bought this app, and they're pushing it out as this thing just became made for pre-order this week. So it's like a 3D room you're in, and you have like a wand and a palette kind of on wand in right hand, palette on your left hand, and with some tools you can kind of pick from.
Explain what you're seeing right now.
But yeah, so this guy's painting with all sorts of different colors. There's hypercolor. There's different oil painting things, but you painting in 3D. It looks like you're painting on a 2D plane, and immediately it becomes available to your eyes that you're not painting in just 2D like you've been used to your whole life. You're actually in a
Wow,
3D
that's cool.
plane. You're
Holy
like kind
fuck.
of live sculpting.
You know what I want to see though? I want to see you be able to do that and paint, and then be able to print it out on your printer.
You can't
Well,
print
you-
it, but you can share it.
You can't now, but one day a 3D printer will be able to recreate it the same way people can pour molten silver into an ant colony and pull out a fucking ant thing. You're gonna be able to take this thing and print that too.
He's
weird-
growing. He's drawing a Monsters Inc. type monster,
Oh,
and
my
then getting to
God.
touch it.
Well, not only that, he's making flames come out of these things.
Oh, this is
little bit of
badass.
sound
Oh, look at
with
that.
it.
That is beautiful.
Look at the parrot.
I can't wait to draw Joey Diaz with big boobs in 3D.
Dude, find out when it's available, and we will purchase.
It's out. You can buy
What?
it now,
What?
but it's not. You can.
What?
It won't ship until like a couple more weeks until
Let's
mid-April.
fucking do it, Brian. Are we in?
Yes, I'm
Let's
in.
get this.
Would you ever do?
We're
Would you
in.
ever do one of those?
Podcast with this? Yes.
No, no.
Can I
What's
link people up to
I'm
this?
figuring it
Yeah,
out. I'm
you
figuring
could.
it out.
Yeah, you
Hey,
could.
Jamie, what's
Man,
the? What's
we're gonna
the?
have so much fun.
You can get video output. So
Oh my
you can
God! Look at this dragon, dude. Back it up. Back it up just a second, dude. Back it up. Look at that. That's insane.
Fuck.
There's some really cool art being made with this. The guy that showed this to me, Chadwick at Circle VR, said he's working with, maybe I shouldn't even say, but some
Don't
really
say.
cool visual artists that are making some really, really awesome things. Wow.
And you get to almost interact with it.
You can explore this space. So like this actual program records all the movements and motions that you're making, and you can upload them and share them and download them on your own,
As-
and then watch. Like I could watch Brian paint Joey Diaz, or however he wanted to. And
Yeah, we're talking right now, and most of the people are just listening to this. So if you want to see the video is entitled NVIDIA Powers Tilt Brush Art Contest at HTC Vine at PAX 2015. And it's amazing. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. When you look at, like, the future, like, you look at technology in the future, and you think, like, what is entertainment going to be like when you see something like this? I mean, you're going to have, like, full-on DMT trips with a headset.
Yeah.
100%. You're not even going to have to do a drug. And, that's something McKenna predicted. Terrence McKenna predicted that one day, through virtual reality, they would figure out a way to recreate the DMT dimension. And you'd be able to go there without actually being fucked up. Without actually being intoxicated on DMT, you'd be able to go there.
I think DMT is the existence of time travel.
Well, I mean, it's something weird, whatever the fuck it is. Kill that.
I think about that a lot.
Why?
I reached out to.
Have you done?
No, I reached out to Duncan and talked to him about it.
You want to do it?
I told him I did, and he said he thought it was a bad idea.
Why?
He's
Why
like,
did he say that?
Because he
didn't
knows
still
he
wanna
knows me pretty
I don't
well.
want to handle you, man.
I don't have that brain. Maybe I don't have that brain.
I want to babysit you, man.
You shroom though, right?
I've done every drug there is, but I've never done DMT, and I don't know if. My biggest fear right now is not the trip. It's not the It's the fact that I have 2 children and they rely on my brain to make them money.
Right.
So for me to fuck with my brain, for me, is not the greatest thing because I got a pretty fragile brain. We've all heard of this podcast. I fucking drink a bottle of wine on a treadmill. Like, I'm not the guy that maybe belongs rolling the dice and going, let's see what happens.
What are you worried that would happen?
I don't come
Somehow
back.
You don't come back.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
become like the dude from Pink Floyd and just lose your marbles and
or
shine on
Brian
you crazy
Williams.
diamond. Yeah,
Not Brian Williams.
whatever his name is.
Brian Wilson.
Brian Williams. He got high on acid and thought he was in Vietnam.
Brian Williamson.
I was in the shit.
I was in the shit, man.
Brian, you weren't even in that country. You were in Iraq.
It's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was the only reason I won't do it is just a fear I don't come back.
Well, that's a legitimate fear.
That's it. I love my kids. I want them to have a great life, and I committed to that when I had them, and that's my fear. Dude, I respect you massively for allowing a differentiation in family and the extraterrestrial, the psychosis, or whatever the whatever the thing is.
Psychedelics.
That's it. Hey, can I tell you what all I could think that whole time? Why don't you guys have? Could you guys have a VR camera, a virtual reality camera on the side, so people could throw on goggles, smoke a joint, watch a show like they were sitting in the room?
That's definitely going to happen.
I think that's bad. I think
it's going to happen. There's no
I'm
way.
telling you.
There's no way we'll be able to stop it.
It's already happening.
We're close, right? Yeah. We're about how many years away, Jamie?
Less than a year.
Dude, I'll make it happen tomorrow.
Don't get crazy. Don't get an ego. Don't get ego on us.
There's already a few people that have like live shows, like a live podcast
Virtual
video where
podcast.
it feels like you're sitting in the studio and you just can look around into whatever you're doing.
That's the show.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know the brilliance of it. I love what I love about it. And when I listen, I feel like I'm in the room. When I watch it, I still feel like I'm in the room. But man, I would be cool to be able to be on the road and throw on some glasses and just feel like I'm sitting there.
Well, it's going to happen. It's 100% going to happen. There's no way around it.
Did you guys watch the Oscars and see like all the Samsung like things where they now have like the glasses where you just snap your phone in? They now advertise
Glasses where you virtual reality
the goggles.
glasses. Yeah,
where you just take it like
well,
your
Lewis
Note 5
from Unbox Therapy brought those in.
Yeah.
And I put that on, man. Did you put it on? Did you try it out?
But now they're actually advertising it on TV to the masses, like the moms and the dads.
It's on the corner.
And the one that Samsung has is cool, but there's one that has a higher resolution. Like, not just like the cell phone one is like real simple because you just use your existing cell phone, you slide it into this sort of bracket, you put on the headphones. But they have some that are attached to computers. You know, the really intensive programming as far as like their ability to computate. Like the big thing about visuals and about artificial reality and about virtual reality, the big thing is computational power. It's to be able to create a seamless reality all the time. Like it's one of the things that you would always see when you would play video games is like a little bit of lag. Like if your computer was struggling because your your video card couldn't keep up with the resolution of the screen and the frames per second that you had it set at.
Yeah.
Refresh.
Well, the resolution is the big one because it would establish what the frames per second were because like most video cards, like when I used to make PCs, I used to buy like PCs. I used to buy the shell and buy a motherboard and hard drives and shit. And my friend Andrew would always help me out. He was my security net in case things went bad because I was like, okay, what the fuck is next? And I would get on the phone with him from Oklahoma and he would talk me through it. But
It's only making toast.
yeah, but creating a PC, that's like one of the big things is like if you want to game on it, the old video cards, a lot of them, you'd have to connect two video cards together and form an SLI connection that allowed you to have like double the processing power in order for you to play at a high resolution. Otherwise, you'd have to turn the resolution down way low so that it looked like shit. Like some guys would even take away all the textures. So, like, say you would be playing Quake, so you'd be going down a dark dungeon. It would look cool as fuck, and you would see crazy lighting, and the graphics are amazing. But to the hardcore competitive gamers, that shit was just distracting. So what they would do is they would take all the textures out, and they would turn the entire space that you were playing in into this white canvas with you. Like you are a bright red, and they can even change what your character represented on their screen. So like you would say like I'm going to be like this little chick character because the chick character is really difficult to hit because she's so small. It's hard to pinpoint. Even though they all have the same sort of box that you could shoot them in, but it would be harder to pinpoint. And other people would say, well, what I want is everybody I play to be the giant square robot, so they're an easy target. So you see this like this? This is what Quake looks like. This is Quake 3, what it looks like when they turn off all the textures. There's probably better ones out there, Jamie, where you can see like a death match. But see, there's no textures. You don't see any texture on the ground. You don't see any graphics. Everything's sort of muted.
Is this theoretically what the premise of the Matrix was, where he just saw numbers?
No. What this is just it's kind of cheating in a lot of people's eyes.
It makes you green also. It's like, there's the bright green guy.
Yeah, you can change what their character is. Yeah. So like say you don't have the right. Like, say if you decide that you're a girl in the game, and a lot of guys, like I said, played it as a girl because it was small. You don't get to decide how other people see you. Other people can see you as a giant circle. Like, instead of even seeing you as a person or seeing you as a moving thing, they could see you as a circle that doesn't change, and you just become a target. So it's way easier to hit you than it is for you to hit. Or it was way easier for them to hit you than it is for you to hit them.
Yeah.
Because you've become a giant target, whereas you're playing the game the way it's intended, and they're just
I see what you're saying.
an octopus with a machine gun or whatever the fuck their character is. So you can kind of manipulate things and change in the settings. And some people like it because it makes it like real simple. You know, like it's such a fast-paced game anyway. They don't want to be. They're not there for all that bullshit. They're not there for textures and the way it looks. They're just there to kick ass and spray people, railgun people in the middle of the air. They would bounce off these bouncy pads.
You can't talk to me about video games without thinking about the way Duncan looked at him when he was addicted to them.
Oh yeah.
I think about that so much because it's like
What, you mean when he was?
Well, he plays a different kind of video game too. He plays a video game that you become like a part of the game. He's into those like massive multiplayer games.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, I remember him saying driving through the hills, thinking, "Oh, that's the mountains of Tildor or whatever." Like, but I used to be addicted. This sounds silly, really silly, but to Tony Hawk's
Pro Skater.
Yeah, it was so good.
You were addicted to a skating game?
I was
Me too.
addicted to video games. It's just the idea of getting into the same format. It's just like drinking or drugs, I'm sure. The same rituals, and then all of a sudden the same payoff.
But just imagine once this shit, this technology, this virtual reality technology we were just looking at, imagine if that becomes the new video game, then things are going to be so bizarre because all they're going to have to do is figure out some sort of a bodysuit that you wear where the actions of your environment correspond to how the bodysuit feels. Like you could sit there with this virtual reality thing on and stand there, and when things grab at you, it'll feel like something's actually grabbing you. Like, it's going to get weirder and weirder. And then eventually they're going to go, listen, man, we can give you what we're giving you right now, but it's not as good as we can do.
Dude.
And what we can do is we can cut your brain open, and we can put these electrodes in there, and I can guarantee you are going to be a super person. You're going to be one of the Avengers. You're going to live on the moon. You're going to get your dick sucked anytime you snap your finger twice. You're going to have a harem of golden girls from Planet Pussy that are here to suck your dick 24 hours a day, just waiting like a corral, like immigrants trying to fucking come off of a raft and escape to freedom. That's what it's going to be like every day of your life. All I'm going to do is cut your head open, stick some wires in there.
What will happen is the same thing as my wife and your wife growing chickens and growing eggs. They'll all of a sudden, 40 years from now, they'll be like, you know what? I'm going to have a child. Like, it's the same thing, man. Your wife does it. My wife does it. They have chickens and they grow eggs, and they fucking find some sort of pleasure in like almost this like 20-year jump back, 50-year jump back of like having an animal. And I know you love those eggs. I know I fucking love those eggs. When I crack those eggs open and I go, man, I never ate scrambled eggs in my life until I got chickens. Now I'm like, fucking scrambled eggs.
How did you get away with eating no scrambled eggs?
I like them over easy. I don't fuck with scrambled eggs. But man, now that I know they're in my backyard, a little wet scrambled egg with some cheese on it, that's the best goddamn thing in the world because they're my eggs. But so the same thing will happen is that progression will go just like tomatoes and cucumbers and kale, all that shit we get at the store. Back in the day, they had to grow it. They never even fucked with it. Same thing will happen is one day someone will be like, man, this is going to sound crazy. I'm thinking about getting a hand job. And someone will be like, what? From like a person? And they're like, yeah, I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to get one hand job. I want to see what it feels like. I've heard about
would
it.
Be so tired. The people hooked up to the Matrix, they wouldn't be able to jerk you off correctly. They have those like really tired, atrophied hands because they haven't moved in months. You didn't disconnect? No,
How
I didn't.
great would that be, though?
I became a
great
king.
sloppy hand job just lubed up like
Not even good though, because they don't have energy. And then after they're done, they have to rest for days. They're exhausted. Their arm swells up with inflammation. You tore all the ligaments in their arm because they're just not used to moving it, and they jerked you off.
But look at you.
What? The
Hunting with the eggs.
Powerful hands.
With the eggs. I mean,
I think this is also because we are a part of the generation that came before us. They gave birth to us. You know, the people before them gave birth to them. And all you have to do is go back 3 or 4 times, and you live with savages. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not that far away. Not that far away. You can do that like 5 or 6 times. You get to the point where there's no electricity. You get to the point where people are burning wood and coal and shit to stay alive. Like, it's not that far where you do that. You don't only do that like 10 or 11 times till you get to like barbarian type people.
But then you got to keep people going, let's go
Yeah.
camping.
But this is what I'm saying is like, when we're looking at the future and we're saying this is a real slippery slope. Like, there's always going to be people that want eggs. There's always going to be they're not going to want you to cut into their brain and create the perfect reality. They're going to be happy with their imperfect but yet realistic reality. I know this is real. I'm not going to take that magic leap into you drilling a hole in my head and sticking in some sort of a USB port and plugging me into the matrix. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So they decide to go out, but their kids might not do that, man. It might be one of those generational things where it takes just a few generations of people to go, why are you camping? Why are you camping? Do you want to live with dragons? Do you want to fly to the moon on your dick? Can you want to shoot your dick like a fucking pogo stick and launch yourself into the fucking asteroid belt? Well, you can do it, dude. Okay? And it'll feel like you're really doing it. You don't have to fucking camp.
Fuck,
Why are you
yes.
camping? Oh my God, did you see a bird? Did you see a bird for real? Did you wash your asshole in the stream?
You shat standing up? Shut up.
Rode a dragon into a black hole, you fucking pussy. Take the operation. Let them stick the USB port in your brain, and let's do this.
But then the next generation's like...
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
All I want, Jamie, is VR right there so I can throw on the goggles
Right now.
on the road and just be like...
You never get anything done.
Just every now and then, just the same way I watch a podcast, but throw it on and be in the room. That would be badass. That would be badass. Like, just for right now's fixes in life, just throw on the goggles and be in the room. It'd be really fun.
You'd be so connected to that technology. You'd want it all the time. Could it be so much more spectacular than regular life? You'd want it all the time. It'd be a real problem.
You think?
Yeah. Because if you lived your life without it and then all of a sudden it was an option, you'd be like, why would I do those other things? Like, I'm really confused. There's certain options that
Maybe
like, we're not
I wouldn't,
prepared
but
for.
people would probably.
100 people, 100%. A lot of people would. A lot of people would not be able to handle it. It's almost like we're not born with the discipline or even the concept of those kind of parameters. Like, I think that's what's going on with these massive multiplayer games. Guys like Duncan and you remember Rob, the dude from the Comedy Store we've talked about often, who is addicted to EverQuest. Same kind of stuff. So you just get you get influenced by something that you don't have an immune system for it. Dude. You don't have like an intellectual immune system to say, okay, this is not real. So we have to decide what we're doing here. Are we going to live in the shittiest fucking neighborhood possible and rent the worst fucking apartment possible as long as you got an internet connection and just plug in and be there all day? Or are we going to try to live a comfortable existence on Earth, in material Earth, where you can afford to pay your bills and you don't freak out? And occasionally use this thing? How do we do this? How do you manage this? Because if it's so much better than real life, if you put it on and all of a sudden you're an Avatar and it feels like Avatar and you're having a fucking great time and you're jumping through the trees and landing in these hammocks and shit and you're all fucking flying dragons around and going to war and getting hooked up to that tree, that's gonna be real. They're gonna have that where it's gonna be something that they've invented that they can send to your mind, and it won't even be artificial. It's not gonna be like some like previously created narrative where it's got a beginning and an end, like Dragon's Lair. Remember that video game where you'd fucking turn the handle to the left and to the right and you fall off the cliff? No, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that computations are going to reach a point where it's so fucking powerful, they're going to be able to create a real world where you're going to feel pebbles under your feet, where you're going to feel sand, where you're going to be thirsty, where your dick's going to get hard. You're going to feel like you're really there. It's going to be indistinguishable. And it's a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. It's 100% when. When you see that, this is Morse code. This is banging on coconuts. That's a smoke signal. That's what that is. It's coming, man.
It's going to save marriages, too, because you can be able to, like, put these little yellow or green dots on your wife and then go, like, download any girl you want and be like, oh, I'm fucking Roseanne Barr right now.
Girls would get so mad at you.
Yeah, my wife's never green-lighting that.
Stop with the downloads.
Can we do it without the dots tonight? Sorry, I've been drinking.
Can we do it without
The
the
dots
dots?
tonight.
Look, man, I live a pretty amazing life. I love my life. I think there are a lot of people that trade with me, but every now and then, I'd like to throw on some goggles in a bed in a hotel room and just hang out in the room and listen to you guys podcast. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking. Like
You're bringing it all back.
yeah, like that's the first thing I think is those things are here. We can get them. Samsung's got them.
Yeah.
Plug one in. Let me get
Well, those things, that's NVIDIA. That's not the Samsung one. Is the one with the cell phone,
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
Jamie
This
knows what I'm talking
NVIDIA
about. We talked about it earlier.
The NVIDIA shit is complete next level.
That's next level.
Next level. And when that becomes something that I think what we're going to do, and I think we should probably talk about this once we're done here. But I think the best way to do it is to find out when they're available, and then like set up some sort of a new studio, like a new room in here.
I got you covered.
You know, like we have that other room. We could do something back in
You
there.
100% need like a room for it because it's based off of a room.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I got you covered.
Okay.
I've been approached by a travel channel. It just doesn't work with us. I'll set my guy up with you guys. I'll just set him up with Jamie. But
So
it doesn't
then-
work for us.
So will you be on the first podcast we do from there?
100% naked.
100% naked. I didn't ask for that. I'll fuck your mouth, bro. Racist. The gong is racist.
I'm fucking in, man. I think that, I mean, as a fan of pop, you got to always realize I come at all of this, and you know this. The first time I met you, and I was like, dude, I got to see the dog, the deprivation tank,
Yeah.
the pool table. I'm a fan always of comedy, of podcasting, and I can tell you what the consumer wants because this is how I use podcasting the way people use it that listen to it. Man, when I'm on the road, like I like to get lost. I lay in bed and listen to it in the phone, and I just kind of like fall asleep and disappear into it. That is the next level of podcasting, I believe, because man, I'm telling you, I got a lonely night on the road. It would be so much easier for me to like pour a glass of wine, throw on some goggles, and then just be with you guys and just be
It's
like,
gonna happen. It's unavoidable. I think the same way when you're sitting in your man cave and you're watching Netflix.
yeah,
What are you doing? I mean, you're watching
Narcos.
If you're just
Fucking
sitting there,
thank you, Eddie Bravo.
You decide when to watch it, right? So you just sit down, you press play, and it's entertaining you, and it plays right in front of you.
Imagine if I could just go, you know what, honey, I'm gonna go back to the room and hang out with Brian and Joe and Jamie, and I just throw on some goggles and then hit play, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
I'm in the room, and I'm
And
like,
we're all in this room.
Yeah, and I
it
just am a
feels like
bystander.
this. It feels like this. Yeah, and you're just chilling. Yeah,
that's I mean,
and there could be a guy you let in every week that actually can sit in. You have someone pull up a chair and sit in the virtual world
With dots all over them.
You'd have to like pre-screen them, make sure they're not out of their fucking mind.
are you jacking off?
hey, is what I'm seeing really what you're doing? Because I could be jacking off the entire time, Esther Koo style, but meanwhile you're the dude with the pocket handkerchief and the tie clip.
This is the right room to make that happen in. I'm being dead serious when I say this. Like, and like I said, we've been approached for Travel Channel. People have come to us and go, "Hey, could you do VR?" It just doesn't work for a network TV show.
Right.
I'll send whatever context I have this way to Jamie, and because as a fan, that is what I'd like to watch. I'd like to be here. I'd like to sit right there. I really want to sit right here, but
It's gonna happen. It's just what we're experiencing right now is the beginning of a new revolution in entertainment where movies are going to play out like that. I think there's also going to be movies with not just one but multiple different possibilities, like at every turn.
really,
Yeah, I think there's going to be interactive movies. I think what they're going to do is they're going to figure out a way to engineer virtual reality into an integrated environment where the virtual reality is interactive and there's a bunch of different potentials. So like instead of like, say if you there's a movie, American Werewolf in London. It's got a really specific beginning, a really specific moment where he becomes a werewolf, a specific moment where his girlfriend realizes he's a werewolf and then he gets killed. There's all these specific moments that, what if instead of all those specific moments, it's completely interactive. Like you're actually there in London and you are this American guy and your friend.
you just blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, your
You're
friend.
telling me I'm in London?
Yeah, and you can not only are you in London, but you're in the fucking you're in the bogs. You're walking around in Scotland. You're gonna go to that fucking pub where the slaughtered lamb. Remember they had the head on the wall. All that stuff's gonna be possible. You're gonna feel the rain. You're gonna feel the moisture. They're gonna be able to tap into your fucking dome, man. They're gonna be able to do something to your brain that makes you think you're really experiencing it.
You just proved me wrong on all the stuff. They were like, it's perfect for Travel Channel. I was like, I don't get it. And then you're like, I'm like, I could be in London? Like throwing goggles and be fucking walking through Austria?
It's gonna happen.
That's the fucking future, man.
It might not happen while we're alive.
I think it's going to. I think it's just going to be just like when you go to Disneyland or anything where it's like, hey, I'm on the Needs for Speed ride, and they're like, hey, Joe, come here, I need your help. You know, it's going to be like that, but it's just going to be way more intense.
Well, the Star Wars ride at Disneyland is a better example because they have like 68 different endings or different stories that play out.
Have you been on those rides where they are like, I only know that Universal in Orlando has them, but it's like the Spider-Man ride, the Hulk ride, where it's a screen and it's a cart that technically doesn't move technically.
Right.
But the screen shoots fire at you and shoots mist.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're free falling 90 feet.
Yeah.
Have you been on those?
I've been on those. I haven't been on that one. But I've been on other ones like that. They're awesome.
Those are the ones that I believe, and we can't cover them on Bert the Conqueror, but those rides, because it's impossible.
It's
impossible. It's TV. It's not. There's no.
It's not the smell. You like when you're on the Simpsons ride, you smell
It's
baby
just
powder.
watching. It's literally like watching like.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, you can't get like a little bit of video of it.
I don't know. I'm gonna try hard. We're shooting an episode.
I think people would want to see the little bit of video, even so they go, "Huh, I don't even see anything," and then you could explain, "Yeah, nothing is actually happening."
It's
but you
amazing.
Feel.
It's amazing. It's like the Raiders of the Lost Ark ride is a little bit like that, but a little more.
But
like
it's
driven.
moving. The Raiders of the Lost Ark is
Man,
moving.
Those fucking rides blow me away every time. When it's just a screen, I am like a child, like literally grabbing people. Well, I mean, I guess that's the premise of the show also. But man, I am falling fucking apart.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to have things like that times a million.
Dude,
Imagine.
I think the next generation of roller coasters. I was talking to Benson about this. Is because Doug's a big roller coaster fan.
What?
Doug Benson's a really big roller coaster fan, like
really?
massive, dude, massive.
Does he have like pins?
No, but he flies out. He flies himself out for the opening of rides. Like Doug Benson.
I can't talk to him anymore.
Loves roller coasters. But when was the last time you were on a roller coaster?
Kidding.
They're fucking amazing. They really are fucking amazing.
There's certain things where people like draw a line in the sand. Oh, you're a fan of cricket? I can't talk to you anymore.
Cricket's fucking amazing. It lasts for 4 days. How great would that be if?
Does it really?
Yeah, it lasts. How great would it be if you had like an ongoing communal event? Like, what's the score today? Like, it's great.
Does it really? 4 days?
Yeah,
4 days
days
straight.
2020 cricket lasts for a day. Regular cricket usually lasts for like 4 days.
Stink.
Don't you dare Google this, Jamie.
Wow. What a weird game. It's so funny how baseball is weird too, but it's normal.
Yeah.
Because we're used to that weird. Other people are like, what the fuck is baseball so boring? Like in comparison to a lot of other sports, like in comparison to soccer, they can't understand why soccer never took hold. We were like, not buying it. Like
Soccer
the whole
never
world,
took hold.
The whole world loves it. The whole world.
Well, the reason soccer never took hold was advertising.
No, because America.
No, it's advertising.
No, it's because America.
No, soccer was very popular in the 70s.
Never was popular.
It totally
That's
was.
a myth, bro. That's like Bigfoot. That's like some shit Native Americans talk about around a campfire.
Yeah, flashing your lights to the other car when there's no headlights on, and you're going to get shot.
Yeah, it's a gang initiation. You didn't hear about that one?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sour cream, Taco Bell.
I think I saw a movie with Ethan Hawke about that.
Gerbil, Richard Gere.
That's true.
Tom Segura, your dick.
Oh.
Unnecessary.
Have we broken over the 3-hour point?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just
we're
wondering because
deep.
I keep feeling like I should wrap it
We're
up.
deep into it. You want to wrap it? Are we wrapping it? Let's wrap it. Let's have a fake wrap. We fake wrapped it.
I can fake
No,
wrap
it's
it.
not wrapping it. We're gonna give ourselves another
I feel
5
like the
minutes.
conversation just got perfect.
It's good. It's in a good place. I'm very happy. I've gotten over the stupor of about 40 minutes ago where I was so high I shouldn't have been talking to anybody ever.
No, pretend you work at Chipotle.
I hit a moment where I was like, whoa, you're way too high, son. My idea was good. It's just I couldn't remember what it was halfway into it. The idea of being like, pick a regular job and imagine if like 8 out of 10 people that came there wanted to fuck you. But it probably, if a girl was washing a guy's balls and asshole, it'd probably be more than 8 out of 10. I'm probably really conservative with my ideas.
Well, this girl she knew that was a part of her job, and she made more money.
It's a different gig.
Yeah.
I saw you hit that joint more than I've ever seen you hit a joint.
It's pretty strong stuff. We were deep. We went in the hole.
Yeah.
Deep in the rabbit hole.
You think Stanhope's still listening?
Kreischer. Who gives a fuck? He's got shit to do out there. He's got javelinas trying to kill his neighbor's dogs. Do you know about that? Javelinas killed a fucking dog down the street from him.
What's a javelina?
Javelina is a weird, it looks like a pig, but it's actually like a cousin of a pig.
Like
I think
a
it's
boar?
called a peccary. I think that's the technical name for what kind of an animal it is. But it's this weird, freaky-looking thing that lives in the American Southwest. And those motherfuckers will kill dogs. They killed a dog in Stanhope's
Holy
neighborhood.
shit.
And what I understand what they do is they flank them. They get on the side of them, and they just fucking all run at them and tear them apart. So if they have, you let some domesticated, really soft dog loose, and you leave them out there in the plains. Where do they live?
The desert.
The desert. You leave them out there in the desert to play. These motherfuckers literally might jump on them and eat them. Like, look at those teeth.
Those are aggressive teeth.
They don't really go after people. Here's a really interesting thing about javelinas. They're an animal that responds in an insane way to what's called a predator call. And a predator call is, look at the fucking teeth on
Looks like
that
a
thing.
bear.
That's a big-ass javelina.
They're not that big, but they're fucking ferocious. These are ferocious animals. They're so powerful. So they take this sound. A predator call is like a sound of an animal that's dying. So they have this thing. It's like something in agony, something in pain. And these motherfuckers come running. Like
Really?
You've never seen anything before. Like the way my friend Remy Warren described it, he said, javelinas come to a predator call the way you wish all animals came to a predator call. Like when you call them, they come running at you, full blast, running, just waiting to jack whatever's making that noise. Like it's a race between them and all the other monsters behind them that are chasing to try to find this rabbit that's screaming. That probably broke its leg or something. Oh, dude,
Holy
it's crazy.
fuck.
When you see them run, they're just running towards that sound, like full clip. They're not cautious at all. They're just trying to get it in as quick as they can.
Holy shit.
The wild is so fucking scary, dude. Wild animals are so scary. The wild of being a fucking peccary running around in Doug Stanhope's neighborhood trying to get by in the desert 7 miles away from Mexico.
Have you seen Man on a Buffalo? About this guy, he rides a buffalo around like it's a horse, and then he gets attacked by a cougar and saves a baby and all this stuff. It's like a documentary from the 70s. It's really good. But I highly recommend episode 2 of Man on the Buffalo.
No one say anything after that. That is the perfect fucking sentence ever. Brian just dropped a fucking gem. I had a record about
Guy
fucking
on a
seriously.
buffalo.
Orphans, cougars, and whatnot.
Yeah, Guy on a Buffalo, episode 2.
It's
Brian,
so
can I
great.
tell you something? I've seen this.
Oh my god,
The greatest video in the world.
this is insane. How does he get that buffalo to listen?
I don't know, but he,
Buffaloes are the most unpredictable animals.
he finds a
Are
baby
they?
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we
my God.
we drove buffalo across Texas, and it's like one of the most unpredictable animals.
This must be the worst show ever.
And then if you listen to the song, unfortunately, look, the baby's about to drown.
the song's good.
God. The guy
song's good.
falls in the water and has to rescue the baby.
I think this is a joke, Brian.
No. This is a real movie in the 70s. Watch. Because watch, the next thing, a fucking cougar just attacks him.
Hang on.
Well,
Jamie, back it up 2 seconds.
could be real.
Joe, listen to the lyrics. I think this might be a joke.
No, the song this guy took a real movie and just
Yeah,
the song's good.
The sound's fake. Let's
go to
take that sound off.
cougar part.
Do you remember Grizzly Adams?
Oh, fuck yeah, that guy just died, right?
Right here,
Oh,
look.
did he?
Yeah.
Oh, the guy's crawling, looking to kill this deer,
Look,
and the cougar gets
there's
him.
some-
Oh,
and then
shit.
a wolf attacks the buffalo, and the buffalo like get out of here, man.
Oh shit! This cougar really is hanging on this
I know.
guy. How the fuck did they train that
He's
cat?
punching the cat, and he's
Oh my god!
He's fucking get out of here, cat.
How
I
the
think that's
fuck?
scripting gone wrong.
and then-
How do you think so?
Of course,
Look,
yeah, I've worked with
get
animals
outta here.
like that.
Look at that.
Oh shit! A wolf came after that buffalo and got
Yeah.
donked.
Yeah, I worked with lions and
Wait, what?
Yeah, I worked with lions, bears, and elephants.
Did you really?
Yeah, of course. And when the lion fucks with you, it's not that aggressive. It's like paw.
So what that was doing was a fuck up? That looked like a fuck up?
It looks like the trainer. That was probably the trainer that shot that, because it looks like a trainer knowing how to handle an animal like that. Oh. Like when I fought a bear, I found the video of it.
Don't kill this movie for me, man.
No. That's why I have the marshmallow shirts. I've told you that story a million times.
He's talking about that movie. He said, don't kill the buffalo guy movie.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty fucked up. But like, when you fight a bear or you fight a lion, it really is uninteresting.
Really?
It's a lot of like
interesting.
It's scary for you in doing it, but when you watch it on video, it's a lot more dramatic for you in the moment than it looks, because they're very fucking tame. So if you want, I told her on Ari's "This Is Not Happening" story. I fought a bear, but it's literally like you feel like you're getting lifted off the ground and shaken by your head, but they're just moving you around a little bit. But they're so fucking powerful that literally to watch that, I mean, just in my own experience, and I've fought a lot of animals. I look at that and I just go,
how do you not have this in your act? Like, you fought a lot of animals.
Because, man, I'm trying to talk about my kids. I'm going through this chunk of my kids. I got to get rid of this, got rid of my wife shit, and then I'm fucking on.
April 1st at the Irvine Improv, ladies and gentlemen. Come see one of the funniest men on the planet Earth, Bert Kreischer, film his Showtime special. For tickets, go to bertbertbert.com. Please subscribe to the Bert Kreischer podcast. Please also subscribe to the What Red Band Do podcast, new and improved. No, new.
It's a great podcast
It's
between the two of
improved
you
from
guys.
the first one to the next one to the next one to the
It's
next
more
one.
improved. It's more improved.
As is this one. We're all a work in progress, you fuck. Stop being so critical. We'll see you soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I promote a show?
Yeah.
Death Squad Austin and Houston next week, March 11th, Houston, 12th, 13th,
With
Austin.
the young and talented George Perez.
Yes, and then San Jose.
I want to see him do stand-up.
Funny guy.
So
good dude, too. Bert Kreischer, any last words?
Calling Sick to Work show, March 17th, Grand Rapids Distillery, Wise Guys in Utah, right before my special, April 1st in Irvine. Joe, I love you. Thank you for having me on.
I love you too, brother. It's always a pleasure.
Always a great time,
pleasure.
man.
All right, folks. See you guys in Vegas tomorrow night. Joey Diaz, Tony Hinchcliffe, and me will be at the Cott Theater. Can't wait for that. Then the UFC's the next night. Can't wait for that.
Who's going to win, Joe? Who's going to win?
Who knows, Bert Kreischer? See you later, folks.